Let's go.
Let's rock.
Jimmy Juice Podcast, man.
Let's go, let's go.
Figgy Fig, best in the world, that's what he do, know what I'm talking about. Ryan Rock, born and raised in the H-Town, Houston, Texas. Know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Let's go in the jacuzzi, smoking threats. I got my feet up. Cut them haters off, I told them beat it. I don't need you. Spend 50 racks in cash, but it's all good. I got my visa. This rolling got them staring at me like the Mona Lisa. My ghetto Nike. I beat it like a crease. She always like my sneakers. These Jordan 5 pink aces. Let's go. I'm knocking them down, back to back in the row. He really the one.
But they already know.
So all of my chains go put on the show.
Giving out gins, sipping my juice. Counting the beans, addicted to ends. Need to back in on whatever I do. We get it in on the daily. I get it rocking like this with the 80. We really 10 toes down on the page. What's up? We about to see what they say.
Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Let's go. Gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Go, let's go.
What do you have to say to everyone who still considers the Astros cheaters?
You what we call a tender dick nigga.
One more thing. One more thing. Press the brick going up.
You what we call a tender dick nigga.
There we go.
Yeah, what the fuck happened?
Yeah,
I missed the whole intro, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it said my browser failed to play the clip, and then I didn't hear anything. And then it just came. I heard your drops. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Are we starting?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, I missed the hype up video, man.
Yeah.
Whole footage and shit, but it still hypes me up for the podcast, man. But it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, we'll change it one day.
Yeah. We'll AI it and put a bunch of bullshit. Might get an AI song too.
Yeah.
This shit's getting crazy, man.
It is.
Got AI singers and artists out here now. We're gonna talk about that a little later on. Timbaland done betrayed the game, and
he's part of the problem.
Artists. Yep. But welcome to the Jim the Juice podcast, everybody. We are back at it. You got the man Figgy Fig, of course, and me, Ryan Rocket. Back at it, gonna talk about sports, hip-hop, entertainment, everything. Y'all know what the podcast is about. I guess a little bit of a wellness check, Figgy, because I did see you posted some shit on Twitter that looked crazy. Your car got hit by a tire that flew down the freeway.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so we were driving, leaving the grocery store, and we was on 610, pretty much going home. And all of a sudden, looked up, we just seen a random ass tire just going full speed at us to the point we couldn't even dodge or do anything. So it hit the car. We pull over to the side. She said all the lights was on the dashboard. So we pulled over. I got out and looked, and it damn near looked total. I'm like, what in the world? What kind of tire was that? So had to call the police and all that stuff and get a report for insurance purposes. And they the headlight was pretty much messed up in that whole little corner of the car. And the good thing is it was still drivable. It didn't hurt anything else. It was more just cosmetic. And the only thing was the headlight was out. So hit the insurance people up, took it in. And you know, that car was like a 2015, I want to say. It was a 2015. Paid for already, and they was just like, yeah, this might be a little too much money for the insurance to cover this, so we might have to just totaled it out, man, which is really messed up because it was still drivable. But the only thing is, it just don't have a headlight, and you can't roll around with one headlight.
Yeah, you'll get stopped. I saw them tags were already dirty, dog. So
Yeah, yeah,
you don't want to push it too much.
yeah, that was tough right there because what's funny is when we was on the side of the freeway waiting on the cops, she just grabbed my phone and started going to the website. I didn't know what she was doing, but apparently she was just renewing the tags. And yeah, she did all that for them to total the car out. So it's like you done wasted
the money,
$70.
really.
Yeah.
That's too funny, man. But yeah, I'm glad y'all are okay, man. Glad your wife's okay. That's some crazy. I've read that shit. That sounded like some Looney Tunes ass accident, man. Like a random tire just flying at your car and hitting you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know it could have been serious and all that stuff, and thank God nothing crazy happened. We weren't hurt.
Yeah,
but I almost wish it was just a regular accident at that point, man. Just a tire that we had no idea where this tire came from, so it's not like we can track the other person down or even track the tire down.
My thought is that it had to be from an accident, right?
Yeah,
but maybe it fell off of a car. Who knows? I guess there's a bunch of possibilities.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of that makes sense is, I mean, if it was an accident on the other side and the tire came off, we would at least knew about some type of stalled car over there. I'm guessing it might have came off like a truck or something, like a big truck.
Yeah,
and they didn't even know it because the cops came from the opposite side of the freeway, and they say they didn't see anything, and then they didn't even see the tire that hit us. So it must have came off of a big ass truck.
Some crazy ass shit, man. But glad y'all are okay. Sucks about the car, but sometimes it could be fun to upgrade the car and get something new, man. So yeah, you have that, but it does suck to have a car paid off and it's still working and it's fine, and then here comes another car note. So
yeah, she only had that car paid off for like a year.
That sucks.
I was like, man, you ain't even get a chance to enjoy no car payment because I'm about to have my car paid off in a little bit. Probably
that's happened to me before too. Before this car I have, which is now paid off, thankfully. But before that, I think I'd either just paid it off or was like a payment off away from paying it off. And then some kid, I was at my parents' house, and some drunk kid driving his like grandma's station wagon crashed. My car was parked in, the driveway of my parents' house.
Yeah.
And he somehow hit the curb and hit my car into my sister's car.
Oh man.
And he tried to drive away. I had to chase him down. I was damn near naked. I'll chase him down the street like, stop. He stopped. The police came and all that. But yeah, my car got totaled out, and it was like either paid off or like a payment away. I think it was like a couple payments away from being paid off. And I had to get a new car, so it sucked.
Man, yeah, nah, it sucks. So now she trying to find another car that's in her price range, and she kind of like, man, none of these cars look cool. So yeah, man, that's the part that suck, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something. I'm sure she'll find something she likes, man. The only problem is that it's a rough time to go car shopping right now.
Yeah,
so that's something that kind of sucks, especially for pre-owned. It's kind of rough out there, man. So I mean, I'm sure y'all find something y'all like, but it just sucks. The timing is pretty bad. That sucks, but what can you do?
Yeah, dang, it's crazy, but I mean, the good thing is we good. We wasn't hurt, and we not in a tight bind or anything.
Yeah, so. Y'all good. What's up, Matt Graves on YouTube says, what up, guys? Good evening. Happy to be back live with y'all. Good evening, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're just chilling, doing the damn thing. Glad Figgy and his wife are okay after a harrowing incident with a runaway tire on the freeway. So yeah, just glad y'all are good and healthy, man. That's really all that matters at the end. So
yeah.
Well, I guess we'll start as we do usually with some Texans news or talk. I haven't been keeping up a whole lot, like I said, because it's just OTAs and whatnot. But I've been hearing the conspiracy theories about CJ Stroud starting to heighten up a little more, man. He's still not throwing D'Amico out there, making excuses, just trying to deflect and just blow off any kind of worry about his shoulder. I did see he was asked straight up if CJ had any work done on the off season, and he didn't answer the question. He just said, "That's enough questions about CJ." Okay, like if it's not true, just say no.
Yeah.
But he kind of blew it off. I've heard Seth Payne apparently thinks that CJ had surgery in the off season, and they're just not revealing it. And he's still rehabbing it. But I did see him say that on Twitter, and I think it's interesting. I don't see how, like, if that's true, then I guess nobody gives a fuck about the Texans. Because how did nobody report that if it actually happened? Can you imagine any other major quarterback having shoulder surgery and nobody knowing about it?
Yeah. My only thought, the only thing I could come up with, to be honest, was maybe CJ had the surgery on his own, like him and his personal team, and didn't tell the team. Maybe it was something like that, because you do have instance where players, whenever they being kind of hard-headed, for lack of a better word, they opt to get surgery so they don't have to play or something like that. They do little stuff like that. So my only thought was maybe he got it on his own without notifying the team, and it's kind of putting them in the hard place where they don't want to say, yeah, he had surgery, but also they have no idea what's going on either, type thing. That's kind of like when a player, it kind of happened last year with Christian Harris, their linebacker, where he was hurt and they really wouldn't explain what happened or anything like that, and it seemed like he was kind of trying to protect Christian Harris a little bit. Like, I don't know if he got hurt on his own. He was training on his own and hurt his I forgot what it was, but it seemed like they don't want to blow the cover of somebody or something. So yeah, I don't know if he got surgery or not, though. It seemed like it could be maybe he was just sore, maybe threw too much or something like that. But it would surprise me if he kind of running around like he on his own and decided to let me get some surgery, just keep it on the low type thing.
It's starting to feel fishy to me, man. I can understand a few days not throwing and saying, hey, you got a little soreness, but it's been weeks now and you're still saying shoulder soreness. And I feel like when you have a soreness, it typically goes away within a few days, So this is going on weeks, and this is soreness that's so bad you can't throw a football. I don't know, man. It's starting to feel like they're just trying to downplay some shit like they usually do. And it gets annoying as a fan because you just want to know, like, hey, is he gonna be good game one? Is he gonna play? Is he gonna do mini camp? Is he gonna do preseason? Like, people got plans to buy tickets and shit. We want to know if he's gonna be okay. I'm not trying to see Davis Mills preseason games, man. Well, I guess he's gonna play no matter what. I'm not trying to see Davis Mills start game one. So yeah, we just want to know what's going on, man. I don't see why he gets so annoyed too. Like, and this is not the most important player in the franchise. We want to know if he's okay. Acting like people are ridiculous for asking and caring so much. Like, this is our franchise quarterback, man. We want to know what's going on with him.
Yeah. I think the other thing is, like, I feel like they just so secretive at times too. Where I don't want to say secretive, but I feel like they always try to protect the players no matter what, which is good if you're a player, because they ain't throwing you out there for the Wolves. So it seemed like he kind of just taking the bullets just to kind of protect the players, and that's kind of the way the organization been working. So, but hopefully it's not a big deal. Like I said last week, I just hope it's not a thing where throughout the season he gets sacked and he's holding that shoulder, and they say, you know what, he need to get surgery. Where I'm just like, damn, maybe why didn't he do that in the off season? Or if he didn't do it, why didn't he do it? So I just hope it's not anything like that was related to last year, because he got beat up last year. So I just hope it ain't anything related to that, and they decide not to do anything and just let it rest. Because dog, I know he probably practiced throughout the all season and stuff, but damn, brother, you ain't played a game since January, man. Like, why you got soreness right there? So.
Yeah. And I think people were speculating that that's why, some people thought that CJ just locked in this whole offseason, and that's why we didn't see him at all. But now the speculation is maybe he had some work done. He was walking around with the cast or some shit, and he didn't want to put that out there. So, that's why he went ghost. I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to get into speculation that much, but it will be interesting. Like Matt says, what's up, Matt? On YouTube, or Miguel as well, said D'Amico's a hardo. Matt says, so the way D'Amico blew it off was a bit off, but I'm not that worried. It's just OTAs. If we get to training camp and he's not throwing, then I'll worry. That's how I feel. But I think
everybody should worry.
Exactly. But the thing is, if he gets to training camp and he's not throwing, they're going to play it off the same way they're doing it for the OTAs, man. They're going to act like it's no big deal. Just going to act like, it's some routine thing. He's just not feeling something. So, like, they're going to play it down no matter what. And I will officially be worried then. But I'm just a little bit worried now with the way the question got dodged about getting work in the offseason. That's not a ridiculous question to ask. You could have just said no if it's not true.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Training camp coming up in a couple weeks. So.
Yeah. Are y'all going to be out there? Well, of course you are. Y'all always out there.
Yeah, we're going to be out there. Me personally, I probably won't be out there unless it's a weekend.
Oh, okay.
Pop up, but I don't stay around the corner from the station no more, so or from the stadium no more, so I ain't about to go up there early in the morning just to see some stretching and then rush up to the station. So I probably won't be out there throughout the week.
All right. I feel you though. Other NFL news, they made it official. Aaron Rodgers is signed with the Steelers. Do you feel any type of way about that in general? Do you think that's going to save them in their season?
Nah, I think they would definitely be. I could see them being maybe how good they were. I mean, how they were last year, just kind of barely above 500 or somewhere around there. I don't think they're gonna make some big noise, man. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that same MVP type of Aaron Rodgers. I'd be shocked if he was, but. I just don't see it, man.
I just don't see what people see in this version of Aaron Rodgers, man. Not only is he ass on the field usually, he also all this drama he does, getting on Pat McAfee show talking this political shit. I don't know why any team would want to deal with that, let alone the Steelers, who usually are away from any kind of that type of drama and controversy. I don't know what they see in Aaron Rodgers. Were they just extremely desperate for a quarterback? I don't get it, man. I don't get why. You already have Mike Tomlin, who people are calling for his job and calling it into question, even though he's done well with the team he's had. But people are putting him on a hot seat, and then you bring in Aaron Rodgers, who's way past his prime. I just don't get it. I don't know why they got him. But
yeah, I don't really get it either. And he might be the one that actually get Mike Tomlin fired, man.
Could be.
I mean, you can make a case that they've been way underperforming, and Mike Tomlin, I don't want to say he lost the locker room and nothing like that, but it seemed like it's starting to heat up a little bit about his job security. So if they have a bad season this year, I could see them getting rid of Mike Tomlin at some point.
It would be hilarious if Aaron Rodgers got 2 minority coaches fired in his last 2 years in the NFL. Maybe that's his plan. he sees them as DEI coaches. He wants to rid the league of them. So he just joins these teams and intentionally is terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they got him. It's kind of embarrassing, but yeah, who knows? It might be okay. I don't know. I don't really care about the Steelers.
Yeah.
I think that about does it for NFL. We get into some new releases, some music. So, legendary New Orleans rapper, one who some people think should have done the New Orleans Super Bowl halftime show, but was unfairly cheated out the opportunity by Jay-Z and Rock Nation. Keep in mind, everything that goes wrong is Jay-Z's fault.
It is.
Not even just in rap, everything in the world is Jay-Z's fault, according to some people.
It's like the NFL had no say so in this.
Nah, it was all Jay-Z. Jay-Z said no. I want Kendrick. Just like he's saying he's sicking the dogs. He got Tory Lanez. He pulled the strings and got Tory Lanez convicted. Now he's apparently helping Halle Bailey against DDG. I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, man. Master manipulator Jay-Z.
He also got Tory Lanez stabbed in prison.
Yep. I've heard that too. So yeah, master manipulator Jay-Z is a reason why Lil Wayne did not get to perform at the Super Bowl. But this was his chance to prove that he was worthy. He dropped his new album, The Carter 6. Which, like I told you before the show, I forgot what happened to Carter 5, and then I realized he actually dropped it, and it was terrible. I forgot it even existed. But yes, the Carter 6 has released a bunch of features, which were questionable to me when I saw the list. They had Jelly Roll on there. They had Kodak Black. They had, I think his son was on a song.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly. BS the Plug, Jay Jones, Wyclef Jean. I'm like, where you find Wyclef Jean at?
Yeah, dog. I don't know. Wyclef in 2025. Come on, man.
And see, I ain't want to be disrespectful, because I'm thinking if I was an artist and I was able to get somebody like that, I'd be like, oh, that's an honor type thing. But
Wyclef?
I don't want to hear no Wyclef in 2025. Wyclef and Lil Wayne. I want to hear that in 2025, man.
Last I heard of Wyclef, he got in trouble for some Haiti scam. Remember, there was some kind of natural disaster that happened in Haiti or some shit.
Oh yeah,
he was running a charity, and it was like a scam, and he was getting private planes and all this shit.
Yeah,
and that's the last I heard of Wyclef.
Yeah.
And now apparently Lil Wayne thought he was good enough to be on his album. But yeah, definitely, I'm starting to believe that Lil Wayne really isn't outside and doesn't know anything about rap. We're seeing these features.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the album dropped. You actually listen. I'm glad you bit the bullet, Figgy.
Yeah.
You listened to the whole album, so I want to lean on your review and see what you think about it. I skimmed it. I heard of some okay songs, some horrible, but I want to get your breakdown since you listened to the whole 19 tracks. What was your thoughts on Lil Wayne's The Carter 6?
Yeah, so from the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical about this album, because I want to say his first single he released was a song called, I think it was a song called Being Myself, featuring Manny Fresh. So when I saw that before I seen the album, or before I heard the song, I'm like, okay, let me check this out. He's going back to his Cash Money days, huh? Went to it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And he was getting crushed for it online too. That was before he dropped the album. And I'm like, yo, what? Like, is Manny Fresh even on this? Like, to be fair, I didn't even get that song a time of day. I started from the beginning, and I'm like, what the hell is? I kind of skimmed through it to see if it get a little better, or if I hear Manny Fresh. I'd never heard Manny Fresh. I don't know if he did the beat, but it was awful, man. I'm like, yo, what's going on, man? This shit sound ass. And so at that point, I'm like, man, that album ain't gonna be good. Like they hyping it up a lot, but I'm not getting into it. But then I saw DJ Academics, and I'm not sure because I just seen a clip, and I'm not sure if he was talking about this album or maybe he was talking about something else. But he brought up Nicki Minaj and Drake, pretty much saying, "Uh-oh, they all back. That Young Money, Cash Money." And then at the end, I want to say he said, "Hi, Kendrick." So I'm thinking like, okay, so is it a Kendrick diss on here at this point? And then I'm like, is Drake rapping a verse on here and taking a shot at Kendrick? I don't know. So I'm like, okay, maybe if he got all three of them on the album, I'm like, okay, I definitely check this out then. Maybe Stella got her groove back or something. And so finally the album came out. I listened to the album. Track 1 was just like an interlude, but track 2 is called Welcome to the Carter. So I'm listening to it. It sounds all right, man. I'm like, okay. He kind of got a little soulful beat on there. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I actually like this song. I'm like, I see where Wayne going. Maybe he kind of bringing back that. I want to say it was Carter 3. What was the song that had "Hey Mr. Carter" with Jay-Z on there?
Yeah, I think it was Carter 3.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe he going back to that Carter 3 where he had the Kanye production on there and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay. And then I go to the next song, Bells, and I'm thinking like what the, like the beat was awful, and forgive me too because I can't remember which one was which. I just remember the ones I kind of like, but I heard the next song and I'm just like, nah, this this ain't it. And then I get to the next song, which is called Hip Hop, that would be fine if this song was by himself. Where I'm like, okay, he got a song called Hip Hop. Maybe he about to be rapping on some boom bap type stuff. But then I see Big X the Plug on here. I'm just like this to me. This don't sound like no hip hop stuff, man. Like, or not the stuff that I expect. I ain't gonna say it's not hip hop. But then the very next song called Sharks. This one got Lil Wayne, Jelly Roll, and Big Sean. I'm like, man, what's up with these features? First of all, I don't want to hear no Lil Wayne and Jelly Roll, and that's respectfully, man. And then you got Lil Wayne and Bono.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that because I was like, is this somebody I've never heard of called Bono, or is this the Bono from U2?
I want to say it's the Bono with U2 because it kind of got like a Jay-Z Chris Martin feel to it.
Okay.
A little bit, or trying to have that type of feel. So I
random.
Yeah, so I assume that was Bono. But everything sounded bad on this album, man. I will say the ones I did think was okay was Welcome to the Carter, which was the second song. Band from New Orleans was okay. I thought it was okay. Like I could listen, I could get through the whole thing. And then I want to say the last song, Written History, was okay. That was it, man. Everything else was a hard no. And I think the song that's making the rounds, which I heard the song in real time before I seen everybody else weigh in on it, was Peanuts to an Elephant. And this song sound like some video game, Crash Bandicoot. Sound like
Donkey Kong 64, man.
It sound like some Super Mario. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I ain't know what was going on, man. I tried to be fair too. I'm listening to it. I'm trying to catch the beat. I don't know if you ever heard anybody play their song in front of you and they kind of hyped about it and you trying to get with it, but you ain't really with it.
Yeah, that's Swiss Beats. That's the Swiss Beats special when he was on the fucking DJ table, pressing that button over and over again. Everybody's trying to act like they hype.
Yeah, that was me, man. I was sitting there like, okay. I'm like, dog, this beat is awful. You had the elephant sounds in the background. Like, is this for what was the name of that? I think it was a Disney movie with I want to say it was with Chris. Was it with Chris Rock?
Tarzan, Mulan. Mulan had the Chris Rock as the dragon.
Really? Oh, okay, I'm thinking about something else. It was the name of a country. I think it was a country in Africa. Damn. But anyway, yeah, it was a country.
Madagascar.
Yeah,
that was DreamWorks, I think.
Real DreamWorks. Okay.
Yeah. Chris Rock was in that. He was in that.
Yeah. Now it sounds like a soundtrack for Madagascar, man. Like that beat was for Madagascar, and Lil Wayne just took it and started rapping over it. That was probably one of the worst beats I ever heard him rap on, man. Like, it was sad. It was really sad seeing him go out like this. And this should not even be I would respect it more if it wasn't part of the Carter series. And I think the Carter series probably should have ended after 3. I didn't even like 4. What was on 4? I think Carter 4 was the one that allegedly went platinum in 1 week.
Yeah. Carter 4 was the one who had 6 foot, 7 foot.
Yeah,
She Will. It has some hit songs on it, so I get it.
But everybody hyped that one up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care for that one. That one was a little too much. I guess a little poppy, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
I didn't really care for that one. This one was more of a Young Money type of Carter. I didn't really care for this one, but I can understand how people like this one.
My favorite song on the Carter 4 didn't even have Lil Wayne on it. It was the interlude with why he had the intro, then the interlude, then the outro with the same beat.
Yeah.
And the interlude had Tech 9 and Andre 3000 on it.
Oh yeah.
And that was my favorite song on the album. It didn't even have Lil Wayne on it.
Yeah, I'm looking at this track list now. I did like the song. I like the other version better, but the song John with Rick Ross.
Yeah.
I always liked that song.
I hated 6 foot, 7 foot.
Yeah,
Such a desperate attempt to remake a Millie, which I didn't even think was a good song to begin with. Yeah, and that was awful. Dun, da, da, da. That beat is terrible, man. I hate that song.
Yeah,
Corey Guns with that awful verse, everybody hyped up like he was saying something.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, no, I ain't like that one either. I didn't like the song "How to Love."
Yeah,
everybody, that type of Lil Wayne, I didn't care for, man.
That was heavy in the auto-tune era, Lil Wayne too, so it was bad.
Yeah, but yeah, man, this Carter 6, to me, this is not it, man. I just don't understand. This is Lil Wayne too, man. This ain't like no artist that was somewhat okay and don't have the resources anymore. It seemed like nobody is willing to help this guy. Like, you mean to tell me no producers is willing to work with Lil Wayne? I mean, I don't know the situation. Maybe it's deeper than what we think it is, but I feel like a lot of producers, good producers, would be willing to do a project with Lil Wayne, man. And hell, even features, man. I just don't understand how we don't have any recent Drake type of feature or something like that, dog. Like, you rolling with Machine Gun Kelly, and you rolling with BX the Plug, and I'm not that big of a BX the Plug guy. You rolling with that, unless you trying to get a different type of crowd. I don't get it, man. I don't understand the Jelly Roll. Yeah, I know Jelly Roll got some street cred, and he was with 3-6 Mafia at one point, right? I think so.
Yeah, a long
back
time
in
ago.
the day, he did a rebrand, and now he's a country artist. I just don't understand these features, the beats. I really don't understand. You better all have Nas pick some beats, man. That's how bad this was. So to me, I feel like this album just shows that he's really cut off from the world. I don't think he's listening to anything. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't really know these artists that was on the song. It just seemed like he just so cut off from the world where he's stuck in that pocket of hip hop that used to be back in the day. That little these cheesy ass beats and all that shit, man. I just don't get it, man. I kind of wish he was. This ain't never gonna happen, but I kind of wish he was in that pocket where Currency is right now, where he's not trying to chase a big time hit or anything. He just working with producers, man, like creating a whole project with one producer or random producers like Alchemist or whoever, DJ Premier. I wish he was kind of in that pocket where he could just lock in with one producer, kind of how Nas did, how he locked in with one producer. I wish it was somewhat like that because this album seemed like it's all over the place, man.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the feature list and hearing the beats, it sounded like an album from an artist who didn't want to spend a lot of money on an album. Because I'm sure, Metro Boomin and any big producer would definitely want to work with Lil Wayne, but they're not going to do it for free. And whoever's doing these beats probably getting a low rate. I doubt MGK is gonna charge that much for a damn rap feature, man. Come on, like, and Wyclef Jean, come on, he probably did that for $250. Come on, how much did Wyclef Jean cost in 2025 to get? I'm surprised he got Bono. I mean, I'm surprised. Maybe Bono was surprised a rapper wanted to work with him. But it did seem like somebody who didn't want to pay money for features or pay money for beats, or pay the label money and have to owe the label. So, I don't know. It does sound like somebody who's cut off in the world, like you said. And I think he's even cut off from his own music because I heard the song Banned from NO, which is the beat from Banned from TV.
Yeah.
Classic New York posse cut. Yeah. And I don't know if he forgot, he already rapped over that beat on No Ceilings, the No Ceilings mixtape. And he was way better back then. He killed it. But I guess he just forgot because he did it again. And this beat, number one, sounded worse because it's the same thing, but just with some awful trap drums on it. And it sounded bad. And then his rapping was not awful, but compared to the Band from TV he did already, when he just went crazy the whole track. And it's like, man, it's like seeing your favorite get washed. It's like seeing Michael Jordan on the Wizards. It's like seeing who's more recent, Hakeem on the Raptors.
Yeah, Shaq with the Celtics.
Yeah, Shaq on the Celtics, man. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's a rough reminder that your favorite rapper has gotten old and just ain't got it no more like he used to.
Yeah. I do think it's kind of fair. I guess I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I do think it's fair to say he's out of touch, man, because we kind of had the same conversation a little bit about Eminem. How Eminem, I haven't listened to his last couple albums, but the albums we were actually breaking down and the singles he was dropping, we was just like, man, what the hell? Like, what is this? It seemed like he wasn't really out there listening to music. It seemed like he was just stuck in this mansion and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna make, I'm gonna use the same formula I've been making. And remember, he released that song with Beyonce, "Walk on Water." Yeah, and it was just like, man, nobody was really feeling this. And I guess he was trying to use that same formula he did with Rihanna. And I'm like, man, it seemed like when artists like that just so lyrical, they just kind of get stuck in their own. I don't want to blame this on lyrics, but it seemed like these two specifically was just staying at home all of the time. Don't really do anything, because I think Lil Wayne, he watches sports. But I don't think he listened to other people's music or listen to videos and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of hurting him a little bit, man. I don't think these guys that motivated.
Yeah, I think it's the hunger, man. I think Lil Wayne at one point was really trying to be the best rapper alive. And you could hear the passion in his lyrics, the bars, the flow, the wordplay. He really had it all. I never thought he was the best rapper, but I always ranked him up there. You know, I think Carter 2, you could put Carter 2 Lil Wayne against any rapper, and it ain't gonna be an easy fight. You know,
Yeah.
I think he stands tall with Jay in his prime, Nas in his prime. Anybody that Carter 2 era Lil Wayne could go toe to toe with anybody in rap history.
And I think I also think that Lil Wayne, because remember this around the time where I felt like a lot of people wasn't really looking at the South or specifically New Orleans as like so lyrical enough where they could stand with anybody from New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at that point, I think people in New York was like, yo, like this dude is crazy like type shit. So yeah, I think during that time, I think a lot of people he was staying tall with a Jay-Z, and remember he was rapping with Dipset, pretty much out rapping everybody in Dipset. And yeah, man, I think that pocket of Lil Wayne, that's when I started liking Lil Wayne, because this could be a hot take, but I ain't really care for the Lil Wayne, the 500 Degrees Lil Wayne.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I really wasn't a fan of Cash Money like that at that time. But it wasn't until the Carter 2 where, you know, Go DJ and all that. I was just like, damn, he actually all right. So, yeah, I think that Lil Wayne, that era Lil Wayne, I think you could put him against anybody. And I think a lot of people was probably scared of that Lil Wayne because you was going to get out rapped.
Yeah, they didn't want him to take their beat and out rap them, man. I mean, what he did to show you what you got really put Jay-Z to shame, man. I say that as a Jay stan. He really washed Jay-Z on his own shit with that beat, man. It was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that era, that Lil Wayne was really hungry. This era Lil Wayne just, I think, wants to make money to fund his lifestyle. I think this was like a mandated album he had to make, and he made it. He put it out there. He had no regard for the history of the Carter or the Carter name, because he could have called this anything. I think he knew that the only way he could make hype for a new album is to call it the Carter.
Yeah.
So he did the Carter thing again, diluted the name even more, because I don't think he even cares. Put a bunch of bullshit type of music on it. And like I said, it's not all bad. I listened to some songs, and like the Welcome to Carter, whatever the fuck it was called.
Carter.
Yeah, I like that. And I still think he can rap. But as far as making an entire album, he just doesn't have that anymore, man. Some of these beats, some of this, like Bells, which I didn't hate that song, but he remade LL Cool J song from the 80s.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling that at all.
It's
man.
like he's really doing references to 80s rap, which I'm not mad at, but in 2025, you remaking Rock the Bells and even using the same flow as 80s LL Cool J. Kind of crazy, man.
Yeah.
It really shows that you ain't listening to no new music in like 20 years at least.
Yeah. Do you feel like I know we mentioned it could be a thing where he's just not out and about and just kind of closed off from the world, but do you think it's something deeper than that? Then him, maybe do you think it's some label issues still? Do we still have issues with like Birdman, and maybe that's the reason why we getting these awful beats? And you think it's something like that? He just working with what he can work with.
It could be. You know, we'll never know from Lil Wayne himself. That's the thing about him. He's so don't want to talk about anything like that involving him. And even when he had beef with Birdman, he wasn't too public with it. Yeah. So we'll never really know. but it is kind of embarrassing that he's putting this quality of music out, especially after he cried over not getting the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And after his fans wanted to convince people that he still got it. And he just made his fans look bad here.
Yeah.
Because he proved all the haters right. Like, no, you want to put this man over Kendrick at the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Who had a hit song pretty much. Say what you want about the song. It was a hit song and he put an album out.
Mm-hmm. And that album just doing like historic numbers too, man. So
yeah,
you really can't. That argument is dead now. Lil Wayne had a hell of a run. But at this point, as far as albums coming out from him, I don't need to hear anymore. I would like to hear the occasional feature.
Yeah.
I would like to hear him on some, beat going bar for bar with somebody. But as far as an actual album, I'm good on Lil Wayne from now on. I don't need to hear no more, man. You're 42 years old. The game has gone past you. It happens to everybody. Just enjoy what life you got. And I don't need to hear any more Carter's or any other albums from Lil Wayne from now on.
Yeah, I'm in the same place, man. I don't know if anything gonna get me back on board at this point, man. Unless you somehow hear an album and you say, "Hey, Figgy, you need to listen to this." This is exactly what you was talking about. Then I would give it a shot, but I'm kind of like that at that point, man, because that old Lil Wayne ain't coming back. I think he can still rap, but I think, and we see this with a lot of artists too, man. They get a lot of money and they be disconnected from the world where they won't ever have that hunger again. So I think his lyrics is just that. That's kind of like Eminem. Eminem will always be able to physically rap with lyrics, but I don't know if he's gonna have the hunger that he had early on like that.
Nah. He'll be motivated. I think he's motivated to make music, but I think even Eminem admitted this. Eminem, he doesn't care about making good songs. He cares about making impressive bars and barring songs up and just making these complex lyrical masterpieces. But I don't think he cares about the beat. I don't think he cares about the hook. I don't think he cares about making a catchy song anymore. He just wants to bar people up with all this fast spitting where you can't even hear what he's saying and all these double entendres. And it's like, all right, man, at some point you got to make listenable music.
Yeah, that might be his pocket though, because you do have a lot of fans that really come to him for the lyrics. I feel like all of his fans, whenever you say something bad about it, it's like, oh, listen to the lyrics. That's kind of the go-to.
Nah, he always got LeBron pumping him up too, because LeBron will always post some new Eminem lyrics from some album, and it's like, all right, Bron.
Yeah, he going around, he slide around listening to Eminem in this car.
He does. We don't talk about that. LeBron does slide around listening to Eminem, man. I remember when Eminem did that BET freestyle dissing Donald Trump, and with no beat and all those black guys in the background, and everybody clowned it, and LeBron was the only one hyping it up.
Yeah. It's funny. Donald Trump didn't even acknowledge that.
That was the funniest part, man.
Yeah, because this was around the time Donald Trump was shooting at everybody.
He shot at Chance the he acknowledged Chance the Rapper. He acknowledged almost anybody. He really went crazy on Rosie O'Donnell. Everybody who not even that famous he went at, but the most famous rapper in the world, he didn't respond to after he did that long ass diss on BET. So that was the funniest part.
Man,
you sliding around playing Eminem in your car, you and your old lady?
Yeah, man. LeBron and Savannah bumping that whatever the fuck
Orange.
Marshall Mathers LP number 6.
Orange porn, corn,
The foreign boys with the porn and the horn. I think that about does it for music. I know some other shit came out, but I didn't really bother listening to it. Something came out. I can't remember now, so I'll remember it later on. But anyway, we can move on to current events. Let's Start off with I guess I haven't been keeping up with this whole thing, but I know Elon Musk and Donald Trump had a falling out. Have you been keeping up on this? And I know Elon ended it by saying that Trump is in the Epstein report file. That's why it hasn't been released, even though Trump said he would release it, I believe. So yeah, the marriage is over, man. I think Elon and Trump are over. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. First, so I originally didn't see this tweet because he was because I actually had him muted. I had Elon Musk muted.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I didn't originally see it, but yeah, I'm kind of curious. I really don't know the backstory of what happened. Like, I wondered because it seemed like these guys was tight. He was in the Oval Office all the time. I'm just wondering what happened, man. Like, what
there was I believe there was a cut to a bill about EVs that really helped Elon. I can't remember exactly the details, but basically there was a cut to something that really affected Elon. And Elon's been the number one. He's been the cut the federal government guy. But as soon as it affected him and his EVs and Tesla, he got very upset about it. And Trump is standing tall on it, like, that's what I said I was gonna do. But yeah, it's been a lot of things. It's been the fact that they want to deport, immigrants, and Elon is an immigrant. So how do y'all reconcile this? And it's been crazy, but I'm not surprised they fell out, man. These are two egomaniacs who are insane. I'm really just surprised it didn't happen sooner. I thought it would happen like 3 days after the election.
Yeah.
But they actually lasted a while before this happened, but I'm not surprised they fell out, man.
Yeah. So I think it's something I wouldn't say we got to keep an eye on this because I don't know what this have to do with us per se, like personally, but this is kind of like a car accident. You just driving past and you kind of rubberneck to kind of see what's going on. But yeah, I thought this was I'm like, damn, I had to check. I'm like, is this a real tweet? So I'm curious to see how this is going to happen. I wonder if Trump actually, because he's good for this, just having a press conference in the Oval and addressing anything. I wonder if he's just gonna be like, oh yeah, Elon Musk, he's just crying like a little baby, or I wonder if he's just gonna do something like that. So I'm just kind of curious, but
he's already been shooting. They've already been shooting at each other, and he's already said a few things. But yeah, Trump is just gonna brush Elon off. I don't think he really cares about him. He just used him to win the election, and I think Elon attached himself to Trump, number one, because he went against this whole woke thing because people got tired of him and the bullshit he was saying. So he did the right wing grift, and of course he went to MAGA, and he thought that he would be safe there, I guess. But I mean, Trump never had no love for Elon. And remember, they hate each other at first.
Yeah,
they had beef to begin with.
He was banned off of social media, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Elon and Trump had beef, and Trump dissed him and SpaceX. He said all these rockets that go nowhere in these electric vehicles that don't work. So he knew where Trump stood. Yeah, he still aligned himself with them. And then of course Trump ain't got no love for Elon, man. He'll use whoever likes him. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you turn on him, he won't give a shit. Yeah. So yeah, it's very, very interesting, but ultimately I don't care. I knew this was coming. It's just funny to see it. You got the richest man in the country and most powerful position in the world, possibly, going at each other like fucking teenagers, man. It's hilarious, but also depressing.
Yeah, nah, it's definitely like a girlfriend and a boyfriend in a restaurant fight. That is pretty much what it is.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm not surprised this happened. I'm just surprised it didn't happen sooner.
Yeah.
But yeah. In other news, let's get back to sports. NBA finals are going on right now. We had a thriller in game one, OKC versus the Pacers. And Tyrese Haliburton pulling the magic out of his hat, the rabbit out of his hat. Last minute game winner after they were basically trailing the entire game.
Up to 0.3 seconds.
Yeah, last minute game winner to clutch out the game one victory. Have you been, number one, are you interested in this finals matchup? And two, how do you feel about the complaints about the lack of presentation? Again, this is something I brought up last year. They don't have the finals logo on the court.
Yeah.
So if you're just looking and don't know what's going on, it feels like a regular season game or a playoff game, maybe. And people are complaining about the presentation by ESPN and the NBA, all these ads for YouTube on the court and whatnot. They're not making it feel like it's a big deal. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do kind of agree with that. And what's funny, you mentioned that about the court, and they mentioned how, I think somebody mentioned, maybe it's somebody from the NBA or whatever, but they mentioned why the NBA Finals logo and all that stuff was on the court. And they tried to bring up safety, like a safety, player safety thing. Like, I don't know if it's the logo is a little more slippery or what. But I'm like, that don't make sense, especially since y'all have all these weird ass courts during the was it the end season tournament or whatever that shit is. Like, to me, I didn't understand that. But outside of that, like I've been kind of watching the NBA all season. I felt like it was really entertaining. So I'm looking forward to watching all of these finals. I missed a little bit yesterday because I had to work an event, but like I'm still tapped in, man. These are two good teams in the playoffs. And I think it's cool how Indiana took game one just in Indiana fashion, because a lot of as good as they've been this playoffs, I feel like nobody still really gave them a chance because OKC is the best team in the league. But dog, they've been playing like crazy, man. I think this is gonna be a good finals. I do kind of have an issue with some people. I ain't gonna say all people, but I feel maybe it's different people complaining, but I see people complain about like, don't nobody want to see these small market teams. But then in the same breath, whenever a big market make it to the finals, it's like, oh yeah, they just wanted the bigger markets, the bigger cities. And I'm just like, which one is it, man? Like, to me, I just want to see some good basketball, man. It'd be one thing to me. I feel like these small market teams, if they make it to the finals, they're actually pretty good, man. This ain't like the NCAA tournament where you could have San Diego State make it to the finals and just get blown out by UConn. But unless it's some type of injury going on, like a lot of superstars get hurt and they just have an easier path. But it seems like these two teams, actually, if you watch their whole season, they've been pretty solid, man. So I have no issue with this finals right here. Yes, Indiana and Oklahoma City, but hell, I'm not none of these reporters that have to go to the city. So why do it matter if it's not LA and New York for me? I'm watching it from my couch. So at this point, I just want to see some good basketball, man. And I think these two teams, I think they really have some good basketball going on, man. And all the people that's complaining about LeBron and all this other stuff, and it ain't no LeBron in this, man. Like, it's a whole team. I feel like these teams right here, it ain't no super teams going on. It seems like it's a lot of really good just team basketball. So I'm kind of enjoying this, man.
Yeah, I think the people who argue about the small market thing, I think they're just people who are going to argue and be upset no matter what happens. People who just complain and hate the NBA. You know, there's been a lot of these right-wing type of people who have been shitting on the NBA. because they see their ratings are down and they see blood in the water, or they think blood's in the water, and they're like, see, that's what happens when you go woke. Y'all league went woke, and now you're going broke. That's that type of thing too. But I don't understand the people upset about small markets. This is how you make these markets big, and this is how you make superstars. You have to remember, before Jordan, the Bulls were a joke in the league. They didn't have no legacy. They weren't no big market popular team. Jordan made the Bulls, and Shea could make the Thunder. Haliburton could make the Pacers. Like, I know Reggie Miller played before, but they never won. So if Haliburton won, they would easily overtake those teams. But this is how you make big stars, and this is how you make big teams. They have to win first. And this is the process of that. The NBA is going through some growing pains, man. They've got to figure out what's going to happen post LeBron, post Steph Curry, post Durant. These players they've been pumping up for 10 years now are on the way out. And they've got to build new stars. And this is how you build them, man. This is how you build the new markets. This is how you build the new stars. This is how you keep all the stars from just wanting to go to LA and New York, man. Somebody else has to win and show people like, hey, I might want to go over there and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
So this is how it works, man. And I have no issue with it. I'm glad that the teams that are playing the best with these young stars are in the finals. But at the same time, I'm not too interested in, if the Rockets ain't in it, I don't really care in general.
Yeah.
But
not everybody. Yeah. But yeah, I think like I said, I think it's good for the NBA, and I think the NBA, this is kind of what they wanted, man. They want the smaller markets to have a chance, and this is the perfect example, man. That's why I felt like the whole super team thing wasn't really good, man, because you could get 3 super max players on one team, and maybe it will work, but after it don't work and they got to break it up, then your team will be in hell for the next 5 years. So, but when you look at a team like Indiana, look at a team like OKC, they really didn't trade all of their players for a big 3. They just keep drafting it. It's kind of impressive the way they've been doing, man, because remember they had Kevin Durant. They drafted Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. And you see, they just got rid of James Harden for pennies, pretty much. They just gave him away. And, the Rockets, he became a Rockets legend at that point. But they just give these dudes away and just draft somebody else. And how crazy would it be if I told you that James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant would be on the same team, don't win anything, but SGA and Jalen Wood, people like that on this OKC team, is the one that win the championship? You'd be like, nah, dog, you crazy. But I think the way the NBA, they want smaller markets to be in it too. I'm not saying they want them to win it all the time, but they definitely want them in the mix. They, at the end of the day, of course they want New York and Boston and LA and all that stuff in it. But I think it's really important that they want these smaller markets to be in the mix too. Instead of, they don't want it to look like baseball, where these smaller markets, they don't really spend money. So all of these big time players ain't just gonna go to New York, or they're gonna go to the Dodgers and all these bigger markets because of the money. I don't think the NBA want that type of stuff to happen. They kind of want everybody to have a chance.
Yeah, and it's the same way, like, the Cleveland Cavaliers were not taken seriously as a basketball team until LeBron. And now look at them. Like, now they're good and respected.
Yeah.
So this is how you build a legacy for, especially a newer team like the Thunder. This is how you build a legacy for a team. They have to go to these finals. They have to win some. They have to be in the mix. It can't just always be the Knicks. I mean, even though the Knicks haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah.
It can't always be the Lakers. It can't always be Boston, that gets boring after a while, man. So yeah, it can't always be Golden State. Their time has come. They had a great run, but it can't always be them, man. So yeah, they have to mix it up and be more like the NFL, where you're just, Green Bay ain't no damn big market, but when people think of them, they think of Brett Favre. They think of those classic teams, all the classic games they played in, and then that's what you think of.
That's a historic team, man, and
exactly
they earned that. That's kind of when you go back to the NBA, you look at the Spurs. That's a smaller market, but just having that coach, Greg Popovich, and these Hall of Famers and stuff like that, they kind of earned that. They earned that where ain't nobody gonna blink. Like, I never heard anybody say, "Oh, the Spurs in the finals, this small market team." Nah, man, they kind of built that legendary status where it's the Spurs. So I think if more stuff like that happen, I think eventually it would be like that. If OKC keep rolling like this, I don't know if they're gonna keep rolling like this in the future, but let's say they do, then that's gonna be kind of like what San Antonio was. Just a small town with that's the only professional team there. And these fans show up. They kind of show up how the Spurs fans be showing up. A crazy environment where when you go there, you know what you're there for, man. You probably ain't there to party or there as a big ticket office type shit where it ain't no glitz and glamour. You there to play basketball. So I think eventually it could be like that, and I think that stuff will help. But I'm just tired of the people like too small marketing. I'm like, dog, to me that show you ain't been watching no basketball because they was playing better than anybody. Hell, the Pacers beat probably all the best teams in the East. And I know some of them. I know some teams had some injuries, but they always playing ball this year, man.
Yeah, that's just rage bait people do. People just want to make people upset and put that bullshit out there just to get clicks and engagement. They're not actually paying attention to basketball or sports, period. They just want to make some bullshit drama up. And I had no issue with it. In other NBA news, though, how do you feel about Tom Thibodeau getting fired just after leading the Knicks to their most successful season in decades? Got to the Eastern Conference Finals, had a few close games there, lost to the Pacers, and now he's out of job. How do you feel about that, man?
Man, I was actually shocked because him getting to the conference finals, I thought that saved his job a little bit because I do feel like they kind of had I feel like I thought their season was going to be better because I want to say they was fourth, or was they fourth or fifth? Or maybe they might have been third. I can't remember. But I felt like their season was kind of a little bit underwhelming. And once they got to the playoffs, then they started rolling a little bit until they met up with the Pacers. But I thought their playoffs was good, where I'm like, okay, maybe getting somewhere. I do feel like Tom Thibodeau, he kind of run his players to the ground, man. He be playing his players like 46 minutes. So I'm thinking like, man, I don't know if he could ever get to a finals playing like that. But I was shocked he got fired, man. I thought that run actually saved his job. So I'm not sure what they plan on doing. I know word on the street is they were I guess they're gonna put in a request to talk to Jason Kidd, who is currently the Mavericks head coach right now. So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if you got to trade something to go get him or what. Like, I have no clue. But it was also some rumors about them being interested in Ime Udoka. So I'm like, so y'all just want to pick a current active coach, a current active head coach off of somebody's team at this point. So I don't really get it. But as far as the Jason Kidd part, I guess they saying maybe him and Giannis got a good relationship. So maybe they trying to get Giannis in New York. So I don't know how that would end up. I don't know what that gonna cost. But yeah, I was kind of shocked they let him go at Tom Thibodeau after that.
Yeah, it kind of makes the league look like a joke, man. Because at this point, what are you supposed to do as a coach? You've already had successful coaches get fired, and now you have like Eastern Conference Finals is a failure. You can say what you want about his coaching style, but it got them there.
Yeah.
So I feel like that at least warrants another season. And if you don't match that, then yeah, let him go. I was really surprised. And yeah, maybe it's some kind of play to get some big free agent in the offseason. I've heard Shams talk about how this is probably going to be the craziest offseason in NBA history, which is insane because the last few have already been insane. But he's saying this might be the craziest one yet with what he's been hearing. So maybe there's some kind of play at getting like you said, a Giannis or somebody. But yeah, it don't really make sense to me. But at the same time, I don't really care. It's Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
He'll find, these coaches always find somewhere to land. He'll coach again.
They just be recycling these coaches, man.
Yeah,
like,
musical chairs.
Dog, I would be surprised if it was Mike Budenholzer who keep getting jobs. Doc Rivers, I know Doc got a job right now, but it seems like Doc Rivers always get hired, man. I'm like, dog, what have you done for us lately? And you just keep getting jobs. They just keep. I feel like they just keep recycling these coaches, man.
Musical chairs, man. And then they get paid even though they're not coaching. So sometimes they're getting paid by two teams, and I don't feel no pity for that. They'll be okay.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But the NBA, it was kind of weird this year as far as the head coach firings, because you had Mike Malone, who just won a championship with the Nuggets. He got fired a couple days before the playoffs, or a couple games before the playoffs, and you like, damn. And then you had the cat from Memphis who got fired, and he was sitting in like fourth place. I'm like, damn. So I like it's so weird how the NBA do with coaches, because in the NFL, I feel like you can look at a head coach and be like, all right, yeah, it's about time to go, man. You had 3 straight losing seasons and you lose in the locker room. So I feel like that type of stuff is understandable. But you could have a coach in the NBA who just won Coach of the Year, and then the very next year they get fired. Like, damn. It's so weird how they be doing those coaches.
Yeah, it's player empowerment, man. What can you say? You know, star players don't like that coach. They gotta go, man.
I always think about when LeBron went back to the Cavs and they had David Black. Remember David Black?
Yeah.
Look, say what you want about him. He took him to the finals, man. And that next year, I want to say they fired him like 5 games in. Brother, never heard from that brother since.
Yep. Don't forget he wanted Eric Spoelstra fired too. Eric Spoelstra, who went on to be a great coach, even post LeBron.
Still there. He is still there right now.
Yeah, LeBron wanted Eric Spoelstra fired. He wanted Pat Riley to come back and coach the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, it shows how much people know sometimes. But yeah, what can you do? It's the NBA. Coaching is just not for long. But
yeah,
I don't know. I hope Ime Udoka doesn't get poached.
Yeah, I hope he don't be like, you know what? I don't mind going to New York. I hope. I hope not.
Jalen Green gone driving to New York, man. Who knows? Could happen. Matt on YouTube says, I'm with Fig, but I can't root for the Thunder because they're in the Western Conference. See, to me, I'd rather have the Thunder win, because if you have the Rockets, every win against the Thunder with the Rockets feels like, oh, you beat the championship team. You beat the best team in the NBA. So that makes every win mean more. If you beat the Thunder and they lost in the finals, you don't really care. But if you beat them and they are the champions, defending champions, I know defenders don't make any sense, but if they're the previous champions and you beat them, it makes every win against them mean a lot more. So I'd actually rather them win. And then, we might even there might be a lucky playoff series and we beat them there. So who knows?
Yeah,
it does mean a lot more.
That's how I kind of felt when the Golden State Warriors were playing. I want to say the Toronto Raptors. I kind of wanted the Warriors to win because if the Warriors won, they would be in the conversation of an all-time dynasty.
Yeah.
Just, all them finals appearances and only lost one, which is the one to the Cavs in 2016 where they blew the 3-1 lead. I felt like that would have hit a little more because it's like, yeah, this was a dynasty, but that 1 year where they had the most wins in NBA history, they lost to this team right there. It would be the Cavaliers. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted Golden State to win, because everybody thought I was tripping. And I kind of had to map it out a little bit. And a couple of people like, I kind of see what you're doing here.
That Raptors win feels like a fluke, man. It really doesn't feel like it even happened.
Yeah.
You remember
Durant got hurt, didn't he? Didn't he get hurt?
Who?
Kevin Durant got hurt. Did he get hurt?
I can't remember. I think he
got hurt against the Raptors.
But it was a wild year. It's kind of hard to even remember the Raptors actually won.
Yeah, that was with Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
that was
that was peak prime. That was prime Kawhi. That was the one season he really locked in.
Yeah.
And after that, he said, "All right, I'm a part-time player now."
Yeah, he dipped that. I'm gonna go to LA. I'm cool.
Yeah,
which is wild because they won the championship, and he had a chance to stay to try to repeat and all that stuff. He dipped out. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the Kawhi's career is going to go down to one of the weirdest ever, man. This weird mystery injury that keeps him from playing back-to-back games, and just in general his attitude. But when he's on, he's still a great player. That's the crazy thing about it.
We were sitting there. I think at that time we were sitting there like, damn. If you bring a championship to the Clippers, we might be talking about him being better than LeBron. But yeah, like I agree, man. He one of the weird cats where, if you sitting there talking to your grandchildren, talking about Kawhi Leonard, you're gonna be like, man, he was cold, but it was something about his injury or just the way he acted in his personal life. It was just so weird, man. And when he won a championship, I think he won one or two. And
he won with the Spurs and he won with the Raptors.
Okay, yeah. It's like, man, he won one with the Spurs, and for some reason,
the Spurs shit talked. Remember what Tony Parker said about him and how he thought he was playing up that injury and faking it. Yeah,
no, I remember that. That was a messy. They left on messy terms.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was crazy, man.
Yep. And Matt said, you get to the conference finals for the first time in 25 years and you get fired. I don't envy that next head coach. Yeah, that's why nobody wants to go to LA to the Lakers, and nobody wants to go coach the Knicks because they know that they're going to be on, number one, the hottest seat ever.
Yeah.
Number two, like, how do you follow up an Eastern Conference Finals appearance and almost win it? And that whoever is coming in as the next head coach is going to have the most pressure because now the expectation is you better make the finals.
Yeah.
You better make the finals because if you don't, then you're a failure already.
Yeah. Or just imagine if you have a worse record than you did the previous year.
Which is probably going to happen, man. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. Unless they really trying to shake up the free agency. And they get Giannis, they get some other people where it's just like, oh shit, this is probably this is the odds on winner. They got the highest odds to win the NBA champion, unless they do some shit like that. But I don't know, man. To me, it would be tough because like I said, I thought they had a good year. Like I don't think Knicks fans is going around like, man, that should have been us or anything like that. I feel like they had a good year. unless it was something behind the scenes that was so bad that they had to fire the coach. I don't think that was the case.
Yeah, but you know how Knicks fans are, man. This is why I didn't want them in the finals to begin with, because they think the Knicks are the greatest team ever, and if they don't win, then fire everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes, man.
Do you think it's a stretch? I had to think about this a little bit. Do you think it's a stretch that they feel like Jalen Brunson is the greatest Knick of all time?
Yes.
You think that's a stretch?
Yes. Because based on what? Yeah, he's a good player, but he ain't won shit. Is he better than Patrick Ewing, who actually made the finals? Like, is he better than, like, well, what is the metrics here? They won in the 70s. I don't really count the 70s and all that shit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna put Melo up there. I think he's better than Melo. But the greatest Knick ever already? Nah, he's not better than Patrick Ewing.
They feel like it's pretty accurate, man. They feel like it's really accurate.
You got to at least make the finals to get in that conversation, man. At least make it there. They haven't made it there yet, but you know everybody's trying to push their own narrative. So yeah, we'll see. But nah, he's not there yet. He's not. You can't put him again up over Patrick Ewing based on what he's accomplished so far. So nah.
Yeah.
Other things that happened. Oh yeah, the Pusha T interview with GQ. I kind of tapped in for this, but I didn't really get the whole picture of what happened. But apparently, Pusha T alleged that Def Jam dropped Clipse because of a Kendrick verse that they refused to take off the album, which I guess Def Jam wanted removed. And since they didn't do it, they got dropped from the label.
Yeah. So Pusha T was pretty much saying how so we all knew it was gonna be a big artist on this album. We figured either Jay-Z or Kendrick, and it was Kendrick. And I think he's actually on that song. Remember they put that song out where they were I guess they released a song in Paris where they was doing the runway.
Yeah.
I think Kendrick is on that song. So I guess so to me that kind of show you the album been done for probably since like last year. And apparently I guess Def Jam didn't want Kendrick, I guess in the height of all the beef and all that stuff, the lawsuits. I guess they wanted him to take Kendrick off of that song, and they refused to. So I know I said they got dropped from the label, which is Def Jam, but they Pusha T actually paid like six or seven figures to get out of that deal, and so they just let him out, which is crazy to me. Because usually these labels don't let anybody walk away. I damn sure wouldn't let them walk away with the album. Like, hell no. Like, we're going to have to work something out. Or I'll just let you sit. So they got them, he got them out of that deal. And so now they signed a deal. I don't know what type of deal it is, but they went to Roc Nation and got some type of deal. So yeah, I thought that was kind of it was kind of crazy. And Pusha also mentioned, and this ain't really news, but we kind of talked about it a little bit. But he pretty much said Drake is the reason why his verse got taken off of the Maybach Music 6 with I think it was Ross, Lil Wayne, and it's supposed to be Pusha T. But they say he was going at Drake in that song. So I guess Drake got that verse taken off. So he pretty much said Drake got that verse taken off of the album. And the Pop Smoke, remember the Pop Smoke song?
Yeah.
They said he also got that one taken off. So I guess Drake was pretty much going around like he is at this point, tried to do with the Kendrick song, try to get labels and all that stuff to stop it. So he pretty much talked about all of that, which wasn't really surprising.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either, man. You know, Drake is petty. We know he'll do these things. We already heard about the cease and desist he sent to French Montana and all this shit.
Yeah.
What up, Dave? What's going on, bro?
What up?
Yeah, we know Drake is petty. And he'll do these things. I'm not really surprised. At this point, I don't really care about the Pusha T and Drake beef anymore. We've moved on to bigger beefs. So I just want to hear the new album. That's all I really care about now. I want to hear new music. And yeah, I get it's frustrating to have the biggest rapper, you know, kind of block you in your moves. But I mean, Pusha T is still surviving and thriving. And honestly, the beef did more for him than Drake took away from him.
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of people who didn't know who Pusha T was until he beefed with Drake and dropped that song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a blessing and a curse, I guess, but still excited for the album. Still looking forward to it. But I'm starting to feel like it's getting a little clickbaity with the using Drake to drum up attention for these interviews. And it's like, we can move on now, man. I want to hear more about some other stuff. And I didn't hear, to be fair, I didn't read the interview. It could be mostly other stuff, and then just the Drake got the headlines. But in general, I'm kind of sick of hearing about Pusha T and Drake at this point. I just want to hear new music.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, do you feel like he doing a little too much bringing this up? And I know he brought this part up because it was kind of related to the current situation of, you know, Clipse is not with Def Jam anymore. And so I understand you got to go back in time to kind of explain what happened and to lead up to Def Jam didn't want Kendrick verse on here. And by the way, I think they were saying that nobody was dissing Drake at all throughout this album. That's the rumor. I don't think Kendrick was even dissing Drake. So clearly, I think it was a Def Jam thing. Probably they just didn't want it. I guess they didn't want to look like it was some type of way where you got two of these guys, or I would say two of these guys, but you got all of these guys on the same song that was dissing Drake. So I guess maybe that would have looked a certain type of way. I don't know if that would have put Def Jam in a weird position. I don't know if Drake said, "Hey, if y'all let this happen, then I'm not doing shit for y'all ever again." I don't know what the case may be, but I kind of understand that part. The other part I didn't really understand, and I didn't lose any respect for Push, but I was just kind of like, bro, like you said you this real guy, and you doing this type of shit. So he addressed it Kanye West too. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he pretty much said he didn't really look at Kanye as a man anymore after something he did, and it was hard working with him or something like that. And I'm just like, dog, but you was still working with, I felt like you was still holding him down for a long time. And not that part I really didn't like, man. I understand he's brutally honest. He never really sugarcoat anything. But I'm like, damn, brother, like you was lack of a better word, you was kind of caping for this guy. You had his back. You at one point, Pusha T was the only person in Kanye's corner. And to me, I ain't really feel him kind of putting Kanye out there like that. Just like, oh, some stuff he did, just, you know, I can't look at him as a man anymore. I can't work with him anymore, all that stuff. I don't know. That part I kind of didn't really understand.
I mean, in a way, I get what you're saying, but also Kanye had the kind of crash out where you have to just be real about it. And it's possible that Pusha T never really respected Kanye as a man, like he said. But he did call Kanye a genius too. So he didn't. It's kind of a backhanded compliment, but he didn't throw him under the bus. But basically, from what I read him say, I think he respects Kanye as an artist, but he also thinks he's a real weirdo, and he couldn't really respect him as a man. And I get that because you see what Kanye's talking about now and the stuff he's going off on. I'm in the camp that Kanye's always been this kind of person. We just didn't see it as much. He didn't have Twitter back then. But I feel like if we had access to Kanye's unfiltered thoughts from the beginning, we would have heard a lot of crazy shit, man. So I think he's always been this type of guy. And people just kind of kept it under wraps because they respected him, respected what he had at the time. You know, you heard Iggy Azalea talk about the first time she met Kanye and he was asking these weird questions. She didn't mention any of that before.
Yeah.
But as soon as the crash out happened, she wants to come out with the Kanye true stories. It's like, all right, you could have said this shit back then. But so I think that's a lot of what it is. I think that people kind of kept his real personality and his quirks and kinks under wraps because he was the biggest rapper on the planet at that time.
Yeah.
And now since his fall from grace is gone, so he's rock bottom now, basically. It's okay to shit on him and be honest and be like, yeah, I never fuck with him. But I get what you're saying that, you know, Pusha T did really build his solo career around good music and Kanye. You could argue that he wouldn't have made it really on his own without Kanye's help and influence.
Yeah, he was, and I give him a lot of credit too. He was the only one holding up good music. Like I don't know no other artist that was over there just pretty much holding up good music like that, man. Because I know I think you had 2 Chainz over there at one point. Big Sean.
I mean, I didn't like him, but he was over there.
Yeah, but I feel like it didn't go like how we thought it was gonna go. I feel like Pusha T is the only one that benefited off of good music.
Hey, Consequence, early on, John Legend. There were some people that
you think they benefited? I don't know if they benefited.
John Legend 100% did.
I think John Legend was John Legend. I don't think it was a benefit. Like,
you think that first album would have been a classic without Kanye's beats and influence, man? Hey, come on.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think John Legend would have still been John Legend, man. I don't know if like to me, I feel like Pusha T. I don't know if Pusha T would have been exactly what he is now if it wasn't for good music. I just don't know if John Legend never went to good music. I think he probably would have still worked with Kanye at some point. But I feel like they had a stacked roster where you would have thought that music label would have just been somewhat, I don't want to say a TDE, but it would have been crazy. It just seemed like it was a lot more disappointment.
I think they had a good run for what they were. I think if you're including John Legend, if you're including, well, maybe Consequence, not really, because he didn't really do a whole lot on his own. But Big Sean, like for rapper run labels, which there's been a lot, how many of them had the talent and output that good music had? You had Rockefeller, which is up there. You had who else? Young Money, which is really 3 rappers that made it big, and everybody else was just hanging on by the coattails. And that's really about it, man. I can't think of. I know Nas had like fucking what was them? I forget what they were called now. The Bravehearts. Yeah, the Bravehearts. You know, like a lot of rappers, even Playboy Carti with this opium thing, like they're not on his level. So I think in general, when you compare them to other rapper-led labels, I think they were pretty successful for the time, man. But I do agree that, especially towards the end, it was disappointment with all the projects coming out in the same month, and Tiana Taylor getting wasted, and Nas putting out his worst album out over there. It was more disappointment than success. But I think in their prime, I think they were legit, man. I think they were good.
Yeah, man, I don't know, man. Because I felt, because if you look at the roster, I'm like, holy shit, how could you lose with all of these people? I'm looking at some of these artists now, man, like Kid Cudi. Like Kid Cudi during that time was great, man.
So do you think he was disappointing?
Or Kid Cut. I feel like that whole roster, even if you look at that Good Music album, remember that album that came out? There was a Good Music compilation album.
Yeah.
I don't really go back to that, man. Like it's a couple things on there, but I feel like the only person that really benefited off of that walked away from Good Music, I felt like it was I feel like the only person was Pusha T, man, because I don't know if Kanye was a little bit maybe he overlooked Kanye a little bit more where some of his shit was better, but I don't really look at even Big Sean stuff. I know Big Sean got some good music, but I feel like his stuff a little bit before that was all right. I mean, was a little bit better. I don't know the way Kanye works, but it just seemed like it was a little bit underwhelming to me. Like I thought it would have been better. If you look at all the artists that was on there now, and then it's kind of like a super team that didn't really win it all. Like they were okay, but they didn't win it all. Like, damn, I thought they would have been way better than that.
I'm looking at, let's look at Common, because Common was there, according to Wikipedia, 2004 through 2010. Now, I think those were the best years of Kanye's career, or Common's career. Was B
now, was
that album he dropped?
Now, I'm not trying to be technical, but was this under Good Music or was this like a Def Jam thing?
Well, that's where it gets shaky. I mean, I'm going by who's listed on Good Music.
Yeah, because Kanye did produce a lot of songs for people. Like he been working with Kanye he been working with Common for a long time. But I'm talking about that whole collaboration with Kanye created Good Music and he's bringing all of these artists under. Like I thought that was going to be the greatest shit ever, man. I just don't know because I just don't know if everybody benefited like they should have.
I think it depends. I think there are artists like a Kid Cudi who was already popping, and then actually I think Kanye did boost him as well. But I don't know, man. I look at them, some of these artists, and I wonder if they would have been as big as they were if they didn't have the Kanye influence, if they didn't have the Kanye production. Would they have been as big? I know Common, he's a legendary rapper, but at that time, before he linked up with Kanye, he was not there, man. He was not dropping classic albums, really. People have forgotten about him. Then he comes out dropping straight heat. That's Kanye, man. That's his beats that did that. You look at
and see, I'm not disagreeing with that part.
Now, Most Def, I didn't even know was in Good Music. He didn't drop anything, so yeah, that people like him were wasted.
Yeah, and see, and see, I'm not questioning Kanye as a producer or anything because Kanye, I think he worked with everybody at some point, but I just think I felt like the whole record label Good Music thing, where he created the Good Music. Remember, he went on that run where there was that Funk Flex, and they were freestyling in the black suits and stuff like that. Even what's the other guy that's from Atlanta that was very lyrical? I forgot his name.
GLC,
not GLC. It was shit.
They gotta talk about Designer. He was not from Atlanta either.
Yeah, no, it is not Designer. Hell no. But damn, who was this artist? I wish I could find this artist. It was the one guy I thought like he probably one of my favorite guys to listen to be honest. I can't find him, but yeah, like Kanye produced a lot for people, man. And you know, like I said, I don't think Kid Cudi would be where he at. Oh, Sci-Hi the Prince. That's what I'm thinking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was a ghostwriter. He was ghostwriter for Kanye, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he was ghostwriter for everybody. To be honest, he was ghostwriter for a lot of people. But I just think just all the talent he had, man. I just thought it would have been a much better run because like all the stuff that's under that Good Music, I just felt like it should have been better, man. And I'm not questioning anything Common did or anything like that. And Kanye, I agree with you. I think they would have been I don't know if they would have been where they are now if it wasn't for Kanye. But I just think them teaming up is kind of like, remember when Jay-Z tried to sign, or where he did sign Old Dirty Bastard? He was signing all these weird people to Rockefeller. And it's like, nah, it kind of didn't really work out because it was a little bit old and washed. I'm not saying they were old and washed, but I just felt like it should have been a little better than what it was.
I don't know, man. I think in their prime, remember Good Music Fridays? Remember they were dropping hot shit? I think in their prime, they were definitely living up to expectation. It's just their prime didn't last long. And that's, I don't know if it's Kanye being erratic or what it is, but I think at the peak good music in that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy era, I think they were all, Big Sean was popping, 2 Chainz was popping. They lived up at that point. It was just after that, which was the fall off was pretty quick.
And see that's kind of my point. I just feel like I feel like if you want to just put that Twisted Dark Fantasy album in that mix, just during that time right there, we can do that. Like I can agree with that. But I thought it would have been a longer run. If you would have told me if we want to talk about just a moment, I'm down with that. But I thought it would have been. I thought we would have got like a real. I think we got a really good Pusha T album from the Good Music thing. But and I think David Brother said the Big Sean song from what was, I forgot the name of that album Big Sean put out. But I forgot the name.
I forget, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I forgot the name of that album. I think was it I forgot the name of that album.
Dark Sky Paradise.
Yeah,
the one before that.
I think that was under Good Music. That was Good Music. But I just, like I said, man, like if you rattle off all of these names, you would be like, oh shit. You would think like I thought I would be able to go back to all of these albums, like, damn, Kanye put his foot into this shit. Like it just seemed like it didn't really happen like that, man. I felt like it was just a little bit underwhelming. Yeah, I do think they had that good moment, and the Good Fridays was my shit. But outside of that, that was it, man. That was a summer, or maybe 2 summers. You could maybe say 2 summers.
I don't know, man. I see what you're saying. You're saying you thought it would be bigger and last longer, but I look at these rappers who are under them, and I think a lot of their best years were under Good Music. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm sure they would have been fine on their own, but I think at that time when Kanye was as hot as he had ever been or is ever going to be, and you have all these rappers coming under him and releasing a lot of good music, no pun intended, I think I can't knock it and say it was disappointing. I just can't, because I think a lot of these rappers post good music have not really done shit. So I think they were all boosted. They all rode the wave, but Kanye crashed the wave, and that was the issue. He crashed his own wave. So it's really his fault. But I look at that era and I think of it with fondness. I don't think of it as it was disappointing. I'm like, man, that was a great time to be a fan of rap and music, period, because they were all dropping heat. 2 Chainz, who was a joke. He was a comedy type of rapper under Ludacris. You know, he gets the Kanye influence and he goes on a generational run. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I can't say it's disappointing, but I see where you're coming from, where you thought that just with all these big names and Kanye's name, it will be bigger. I disagree, because I look back at it and I'm like, man, those were the best years of these artists for most of these artists. So, but I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And David also said Pusha describing falling out with Kanye as being too much of a man for him and not being able to fake it feels like a little like WWE. Yeah, it kind of feels like a wrestling type of storyline, man.
Yeah.
Like who fell out with somebody in the fucking I can't even think of nobody.
Yeah, to me, this is like Triple H talking about Shawn Michaels, and where it's just like y'all was cool.
Or so Triple H going against. Remember Triple H?
Now you're saying you're not man enough to be in D8 or DX?
Yeah, remember when he left DX and like shit talked them? I'm like, man, you made DX. These rap dogs, you made the sucking and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of like that.
Yeah.
David said they had Bieber and Raekwon together. Yeah, man. Even people like Raekwon, they're bringing in for legendary verses and stuff. So, yeah, it was Def Jam, but I think Kanye at the time they had a great moment, man.
I think it was a great album. I go back to the Twisted Dark Fantasy album, my Twisted Dark Fantasy album. I don't know. I just felt like I don't know. I felt maybe the run should have been a little longer. Like I felt like it should have had more of it. Maybe we'll talk about it years down the line or something. But when you look at that roster, you like, damn. It's kind of looking at, remember the Cleveland Indians back in 97? Mm-hmm. When you look at their roster, it's like, damn. Kenny Lofton, Manny Ramirez, Jim Thome, Albert Bell. You just got like all of these fucking all-stars. And I don't know. I just felt like it should have been, I felt like it should have hit a little harder. I think Kanye West's album hit very hard. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing, man. I feel like Pusha T got something out of it. It just seemed like it kind of, I don't know, like what did Tiana Taylor get out of it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't ever think Tiana Taylor was all that great to begin with, but that's just my opinion. But I think everybody got lifted by the wave, the initial wave of good music, especially during that like 2012 type time period. But yeah, he did crash his own wave, and he has to blame himself for that.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at who's left on good music. It's like 3 people: Kanye West, 070 Shake, and Sheck West.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what Sheck West is doing. Now, last I heard, Sheck West got canceled because he beat his girlfriend.
Oh, really? I ain't know that.
He came back. He recently had a song, I think, with Travis Scott. So I think he's trying to make some kind of comeback. But yeah, he got canceled. He was beating on his girl, man.
Damn.
So yeah, we'll see how. I don't know.
Yeah.
Other news, David said Sheck blew it. Yeah, I like Sheck. I thought he might have been like the New York. I think he's from New York. The New York Waka Flocka.
Yeah, I think he's from Harlem.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna have next, man. His album went crazy in the gym.
Yeah, no,
he blew up his own wave.
Yeah, no, I actually like Sheck West, man. I like him. I ain't know he was canceled.
yeah, he messed up his career, man. So
yeah.
I think she was famous too. It was Justin Sky.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know they were together, man. That's how far out the loop I am. I heard of Justin. I heard of her. I didn't know they was together.
After Sky came out publicly about West abusing her, former classmates of West's high school stated that he did abuse other women before at school. In April 2019, he dated social media personality India Love. In June 2019, Love posted and deleted a picture of a black eye that was hinted West abused her after their breakup. Later on, they got back together. Then they had a public dispute, and she said he abused her, and she posted a black eye again. And then he fucked up his career. But he was removed from the advertising campaign for Major League Soccer after the allegations, and she requested a restraining order. And she was the Justin Sky thing.
Damn,
fucked him up, but that's his fault because he was beating on her, gave her a black eye. So he could have been next, but who knows? Who cares?
So they still be playing the song though, right? That
is Mo Bamba still in the league?
Yeah, they still playing that shit. That's why I didn't even know he was canceled or was in any trouble like that.
Oh, he's still on the Magic. Mo Bamba, I'm sorry, man. He has to be the most undeserving player to ever have a song named after him. I know that him and Sheck West are real friends, but of all players you could name a song after, you chose Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba, does he even average like 10 points?
Man, I don't know. The only time I hear him
about a role player.
The only time I hear him is from this song. And I watched a lot of NBA this year, man. I did not hear Mo Bamba's name.
Yeah.
Is he
David
still
said
with
it.
the Magic?
Yeah, he's still with the Magic. But I wonder if they still play the song every time he gets a ball, or did he get tired of it? He probably told him to stop. He's
Yeah.
probably sick of that damn song.
So I Googled Mo Bamba's name, and you know how Google have that little AI review?
Yeah.
What it is, it said Mo Bamba refers to two distant items: a professional basketball player and a popular song.
Yeah, and I think most people know. Most people probably don't even know Mo Bamba's a real person.
Yeah,
that's how crazy the song went, and how big the song got. I think most people I still see people on social media being like, Mo Bamba's a actual person. He's an NBA player. So yeah, man. David asked for a list of top 10, top 10 list of undeserving players. I can't think of many that had a song named after him, but I do know there's been a lot of players that have been mentioned in songs that didn't deserve it. It looks silly looking back. Like I bring up the Migos example when I think it was Quave Takeoff might have said it. He said something like, "Post on the block and bang him like OJ Mayo." Like, OJ Mayo. Remember when everybody thought OJ Mayo was gonna have next?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember that. By the way, Mo Bamba played for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, I thought he was with the Magic.
Yeah, nah. So I'm looking at his career history right now. So in 2025, he was with the Pelicans. Also in I guess he's going back and forth from the G League, but he was with the Birmingham Squadrons. And then he was with the San Diego Clippers. I think in 2024, 2025, I guess this last year too, he was with the Clippers.
Oh, okay.
So he was bouncing around, went from the Lakers to the Sixers to the Clippers to the Pelicans from 2023 to 2025.
The best year he ever had, he averaged 10.6 points per game and 8.1 rebounds, man. That's 2021, 2022. That might have been around the time of actually no, Mo Bamba's older than that. But yeah, man, that was his best year. Damn. So yeah, a role player got a legendary song named after him. So you should be lucky.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I pulled up a little list of different songs that athletes were named after. It looked like Meek Mill had a song called Derrick Rose.
A lot of people had a song called Derrick Rose. I know Lil Pump did too.
Yeah. It's a bunch of rappers I never even heard of. Yeah.
Kobe, I think didn't Chief Keef have a song Kobe? Or was that about a person who just called himself Kobe?
It could be.
That was remember that Chicago thing where the gang members would name themselves fucking basketball players. Like you had a Kobe, you had a D Rose, and when they would bring these names up. You don't know if they're talking about the actual player or a gang member.
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Magic Johnson. Okay. Dead Left Shrimp. Now that's funny. Dead Left Shrimp got okay. He might be the most undeserving player to get a song named after him. Dead Left Shrimp. Yeah, Carmelo, Derrick Rose, Dennis Rodman, Kobe. I mean, that's his own song. That don't count. Rondo number 9.
One thing about Rondo too, I feel like people don't even rap about Rondo because of his play. They just rap about him because he's with the Celtics and he was rocking the color green.
And he had the number 9.
Yeah,
so that was an easy rap.
I'm green like Rondo.
Yeah, I keep the 9 on me like Rondo. Very easy gun bars to make with Rondo.
Yes.
Lil B should not be included because he made a song named after everybody.
Yeah.
He named Ellen DeGeneres. Remember that? He had a lot of songs named after people.
Yeah.
LeBron James, Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti's not good enough to have a song about LeBron James. I'm sorry. Obi Trice.
LeBron.
Okay. Rick Ross had Kyrie. I don't know what that translatorist had. Porzingis.
Yeah.
Kobe and Ginobili, I guess because that rhymed. They put them together. Mac Main. All right, Mac Main. Chris Paul, another rapper who just names songs after anything.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving. Okay. What the fuck is Wayman? Who the fuck is Wayman? Dirk Nowitzki, Migos, of course. There are another people that just named the songs after everybody.
Got that tall white boy, Dirk Nowitzki.
Kyrie got a lot of songs, man. Kyrie got a lot of love in the hood and rap, man.
I actually remember this song right here from this dude named Lil Craig. He's actually from Cleveland.
Okay.
So that song was very hot. I want to say it was around 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
No, you know what? It was around 2015, I want to say, because I was rapping during that time. Yeah.
David said, no, Kobe does not count. All right. If you name a song after yourself, it does not count.
Yeah, no, that don't count.
Kevin Durant, Rowdy Rebel, Worthy and Irving. All right, going old school with it.
He showed
Love
this
Robert
right
Ory. Dog, that's one of my favorite riff rap songs. I done shout Dice Larry Bird and what's it, Barcelona. That's one of my favorite riff rap songs. I can't lie. That beat is cold.
Yeah. Robert Ory, I feel like he get a lot of love in songs too, man.
Yeah, Future. I know the song's not called Robert Ory, but he had a song about Robert Ory, 7 Rings.
Yeah.
So it kind of was a Robert Ory song.
I think Gucci Man said that a couple times too.
Yeah.
We heard it in Mo City Don, LA to H, Houston to H.
Just like Robert. Houston to LA, just like Robert Ory.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I always think about the Lil Wayne, speaking of Lil Wayne.
Or Houston to Cali, just like Robert Ory. That's right.
Yeah. I always think about the Lil Wayne and Hello Brooklyn, where he said, I'm gonna have to rob him like Ori.
I think the worst Lil Wayne bar of all time was when we doing work, we rob like Bert. Or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I know the bar was we rob like Bert. And I thought that was one of the worst bars I ever heard, man. Bill Russell, well, he had like Wilt Chamberlain, or that was Gucci Mane. Him and Gucci Mane and Waka Flocka just had a bunch of songs and albums named after players.
Yeah.
He had Do Flocka Rant 1, 2, and 3 and shit.
Yeah.
Tory Lanez, you're canceled, Tory Lanez. I'm sorry, we can't count you. Do the John Wall. What is that, a dance?
I think it is.
Is that like the Dougie, but...
Yeah, I think it was from him doing the Dougie, ain't it?
Yeah, probably.
Damn, I want to play it. I don't want to get banned.
No, we're gonna get it taken down.
I don't want to get banned for from Troop 41.
Yeah, I'm sure they got copyright people there too. Larry Bird, okay. Black Mama by Fabulous, never heard it.
Yeah.
Steph, Lil Bibby, Steve Nash, Obi Bryan, 24-23 Jeezy.
Yeah.
John Wall. Yeah, John Wall and Kyrie are two of the low-key most popular hood basketball players, man, in the hood at least.
Yeah.
Iverson, of course.
Yeah. I feel like John Wall is kind of like the Kyrie before Kyrie. Because everybody loved John Wall, man. Like, I was just talking to a producer the other day that worked at the station, and he was just like, man, John Wall is my favorite player, man. I'm like, really?
That's insane.
He was just like, man,
I hope he's from there because that's insane to have John Wall as your favorite player of all time.
He's from Houston. But he said he just loved John Wall at Kentucky. And actually that's how he became. I think he's a Wizards fan because of John Wall. So he still keep up with the Wizards.
What an awful sports life, man. I don't want to hate on this man, but you became a Wizards fan because, like, do you still support them? That's a team that's never been good, man. The peak of the Wizards was getting beat by LeBron and the Cavaliers in like the second round of playoffs every year. And that was the peak because that was when LeBron had beef with them and they was going back and forth and Jay-Z was making songs and Soulja Boy. Remember that Soulja Boy?
Stevenson.
Yo, they trying to hurt me. They trying to hurt me. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest sports beefs of all time in the NBA. That wasn't really a beef because the Wizards never won.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
And then Jay-Z rapped over Blow the Whistle.
Yeah. Funny time.
Yeah.
And they brought Soulja Boy to courtside for a game.
Oh God.
He was up there with the glasses with his name on it.
Yeah. No, that was the last time the Wizards was good, man.
Irrelevant, yeah. So a long time.
Yeah, but everybody loves some John Wall, man. I was shocked. I was sitting there telling, and then I eventually told him that his John Wall kids is pretty much my cousins, my little cousins, because he's with my blood cousin. His baby mother is my blood cousin, and so he's like, "Oh, really?" He was just so excited. Well, I'm like, "It's cool." I'm like, I never met him or nothing, and I don't really talk to my cousin, so. Like, it's just kind of, I guess, useless bragging information, I guess.
It's always tricky when you say that because whenever you say, like, oh, I'm distantly related to somebody famous, they think you should have money, too.
Yeah.
Like, it really don't work like that, man.
It's actually nowhere near that way. Because, like, the motherfucker don't know me. He probably don't even know I exist. But, like, when you think about it, it's like, why would he give me a whole bunch of money? I know he's sitting on a lot of money. He had a pretty good career money wise in the NBA. But I'm like, why would he just give me millions of dollars?
Yeah, you're supposed to go to him and be like, "Hey, man, I'm your cousin." It's gonna how's he gonna look at you like that? Say, "Hey, I'm your cousin, man."
Yeah, it's just like, all right, like the most that can possibly happen is maybe we go out and kick it, and he pay for everything.
Yeah, have a dinner maybe.
Yeah, he cover everything, but I'm like, that don't fit my lifestyle at all, man. So, yeah, people used to always ask me that, and I'm just like, they doing anything. Like, I'm perfectly fine, man. Like, I don't need him to help me with anything right now, man. Like, he don't know me. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I'm like, it don't really do nothing for me. And then I kind of was thinking like, damn, when if I was in his shoes? When if I was this rich person? Like, I ain't about to just get somebody who said we cousins or we related a whole bunch of money. You kind of go, make sure you keep your circle right. And that's pretty much it. You ain't just about to be going around giving people money.
Yeah, be like Adrian Peterson, man. Go broke, be in debt. You throwing these crazy parties and funding people to live in a hotel and shit. So, yeah, man, you can't be doing that. But it is funny how people assume that, oh, you got money now, huh? Like, no, I don't.
Yeah. Or even like with me being cool with Cal and Hannah and there, it's just like, oh
yeah.
Like, it don't work like that, man. They ain't about to give everybody some fucking money, man.
Yeah. That's what people always assume that shit, and it's always funny.
Yeah.
In other news, Timbaland has come out and signed an AI artist. And now I knew he was going to be the first to do some shit like this because he's been dick riding AI since like the beginning.
Yeah.
And he's been talking about how music is boring and AI is like the only interesting thing in music right now. And he's been making all these statements. So I was not surprised when I saw this.
Yeah.
But he is, he has an AI artist named Tata, the A-pop, artificial pop singer. He has a new AI record label, Stage Zero. It will combine human input and AI to create new genres of music. Her debut will be dropping soon. What do you think about this, Figgy? Do you think this is going to work? And do you think this is going to be the future of music?
I'm not sure if this is going to work. I think it could work, because I can sit here and say all the stuff I want to say, how it's not going to work right now. But at this point, we kind of went through this a lot where, it don't matter what the person did. If the person is snitched on whoever, if the song is catchy, people going to play it. So like right now I'm thinking like it ain't gonna work out right because you know when people make music you gotta have some type of feeling to it. But if this is a catchy song, I can see it taking off. But I just don't understand, like maybe one song or something like that. I just don't know. I'm just kind of curious, how do you roll around as an AI artist? Because we kind of had that talk before where remember the one the fake artist that was going around, the AI artist. And we found out it wasn't real, and then or not found out it wasn't real, but we found out who was behind it, and they shut it down pretty much.
I think this is exactly what they're doing, except they're making Timbaland the face of it because they don't want, if she says nigga in a song, they'll be like, hey, Timbaland is behind this, man. She got the pass.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what I said at the time. I'm like, because I thought at the time, I'm like, damn, it would have been cool, but the only issue was you had some nerdy white dudes in the basement that created all of this, and the content of it was so bad. And it's like, oh, these guys are promoting violence that's not even about that life, but they, you know, created this whole image. And I think people were just upset about who the people who actually created it. But I'm like, if it was Snoop Dogg that was behind this, I don't think people would have had an issue with it. If it was an AI artist and Snoop Dogg was totally behind it, he was the face of it. I ain't even gotta say he was in the basement creating the artist. If he would have just jumped on board and became the face of this artist, pretty much saying, hey, this is my AI artist, I endorse this artist, I think people probably wouldn't have had an issue with it. So I think Timbaland is kind of taking that route a little bit. And just the stuff he was saying before, you could tell he was really getting into this, because when you say stuff like these artists ain't really aspiring, but I'm you know, working around with AI, that's a little better. I'm just like, man, that don't even make sense, because my whole issue with the whole AI artist thing is it's no feeling to it. Like I feel like it's really no feeling, but maybe if Timberland's behind this and he's actually hands-on with it, because you know, I think a lot of people kind of trust Timberland a little bit as far as like being a producer and maybe some talent and stuff, finding talent, stuff like that. If he create the artist like that, maybe it could be successful. But yeah, man, I mean, as much as people don't really care for AI like that, I can see this actually doing something. Like, I don't know if it's going to take over bigger artists or anything like that. I don't know if we're going to be going to a concert to see an AI person perform or something. But I could definitely see some type of song going viral, and you find out later on, oh shit, this ain't even a real artist. This is an AI song. I can see it being something like that. I think I'm a little more curious how they could go forward with this, because are you just going to just release songs and that's it? Because I know that'd be some okay money, but I'm wondering, like, what's the next step? Like, are you trying to do a tour? Are you trying to do some concerts? I wonder what's the next step with that type of stuff. I'm kind of curious to see that. Or are you just going to make it more of a what's the name of the games these kids be playing, like Minecraft or
Roblox?
If it's something like that where you could just put these artists in there and just make it strictly like AI or virtual type thing.
Yeah. Look, I think not only is this the future, it's already low key here. Artists are already using AI for their own voices. We've confirmed that Playboi Carti's been heavy using it for his latest album. Kanye has been using it. He's been admitting it. We've already heard how these fake songs sound. They sound like fucking real songs, man. All these parody. Remember the BBL Drizzy? That BBL Drizzy sounds like a real song, and that was 100% AI.
Yeah.
So yes, the AI is already here. They're already using it in music. This is going to be the future, man. We as old people won't accept it. The younger people will. The people that have grown up using Chat GPT, the people that have grown up with artists already using AI, they're not going to give a fuck. Now the question will be, like you said, it will be interesting to see how they roll it out, how they do a show. And now this takes me back because there's a anime movie I like called Macross Plus, and they predicted this thing exactly because it's a movie set in the future, but there's a pop artist in the anime called Sharon Apple, like that's 100% AI, and they treat it like she's the biggest pop star. Macross, whatever. You know how to fucking pronounce it, man. Macross Plus. And there's an artist named Sharon Apple, and she's like the biggest artist in the universe, 100% AI. But they did a concert with her, and it looked like the craziest shit because it was hologram. She was changing fits mid-song, and the songs were actually good. But it was an insane movie where it really predicted how AI is going to be, and they had like an AI pop star. And everybody, they knew she was AI, but they didn't care. And it was the funny thing, it was actually a real person behind it that was providing the stuff and writing the songs and doing the singing type shit. But it was the virtual avatar they presented to people. And I think that's probably what this is going to be. It's going to be real people writing songs, probably real people doing kind of lyrics and stuff, but it's going to be all presented under like a project, kind of like the Gorillas are a little bit. You don't really know who they are, but you know the characters and what they present themselves as.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the next step. And I think there's going to be AI artists and people won't give a fuck in the future. And they'll just be, and that's another thing too. If it's AI, you can always talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a Taylor Swift who will never respond to you no matter how much money you spend on her. If there's an AI Taylor Swift, you could download the AI Taylor Swift app and talk to her, and she can give you real responses. You think kids won't be into that? As parasocial as people are today in this world, you think they won't be into that?
Yeah, I think so.
That's gonna be the future, man.
Yeah, no, I think so. And like I said, man, like I don't think people gonna care. I think people, just like how we had a bunch of conversations about snitching and people that go out here snitching and they still have a career, man. And a lot of these people say, "Oh, I don't care, as long as the song's good." So I think that's kind of similar. Like if the song is good, people ain't gonna give a damn if it's a real person or not. So I do think it's kind of interesting too, because like me, you know, I used to rap and stuff. And right now I'm 36. So I'm not sitting here trying to be a rap, like a street guy and all this other stuff rapping, man. I'm a guy with a 9-to-5 job, working radio talk. So I feel like this would be good for people like me who can actually write about anything, but maybe don't want that image or don't really go outside like that. I could just create some type of artist, some type of AI artist that's a gangster or something like that, and just write all the music behind, just create this image and just be sitting in my little studio, not really doing anything else, just putting out the music instead of, because like being a rapper, you kind of got to live a little bit how you rap. So if I'm sitting here talking about guns and drugs and stuff like that, I can't be out and about looking like I don't do it at all, or you know, but somebody like me can hide behind the whole AI thing and just make it a character, kind of like it's a movie or a TV show. How you could create a character in a TV show, but you not really living as that TV show. You could just kind of create the character, give it all, you know, just give it the whole bio and all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting too. I wonder if other people gonna look at it like that and just zero in on creating this image without having to live this lifestyle.
Yeah, and man, you could have a AI Drake with Quentin Miller writing, and there would be no drama behind it because you understand it's AI. But you have real people contributing. There's a lot of great ghost writers who don't sound good rapping, but they know how to write songs. They know how to create songs. They know how to. They know music. They just can't do it themselves.
Yeah,
So-
or even just the ghost writers that maybe they do have a good sound, but they just don't have the image. They could just create whatever image they want out there. They could create a guy that's full of tattoos, get some dreads and all this other stuff, and just be the voice behind it. And voila, you cool now. So yeah, I think in so many ways now you can do stuff like that and actually be more successful than just being a regular ghostwriter.
Yeah, and I think it's future, man. I think I see a lot of people on social media trying to fight AI, and I think hey, I understand them. I understand what they're going, and they just don't want to live in a completely fake world. I get it. I don't either. But I'm honest. I see where this is going, man, and it's going to take over. AI is going to take over everything. It's going to take over art. It's already here. Artists are fighting back. They don't like AI art, but the AI art looks too fucking good now, man. It's only going to look better.
Yeah.
So it's very unfortunate because I love, the process of people making art and how everybody has their own distinct art style. But you see this AI art, and a lot of times you don't know it's AI art until somebody points it out. You're like, oh, now I don't like it. But when you thought it was real, you liked it. So wait a minute, man. Movies are going to be made 100% in AI. They're already getting there now. You've seen how this shit is progressing so fast, man. And music will be there too. It's already kind of here. And they're going to keep sneaking this shit little by little without you really not even knowing it until one day you're going to wake up and it's AI everything.
Yeah. It's getting to that point. I kind of had that conversation with my co-host Reggie. Reggie is totally anti-AI anything. Like he ain't rocking with the chat GPT. He don't rock with AI at all. And I'm like, man, there's gonna be a point where that's gonna be the go-to.
Yeah.
Because I remember as a kid, remember Wikipedia? Wikipedia was a bad thing when I was a kid, man. It's like I remember teachers telling us, don't go on there. Like you need to go look in the encyclopedia and find your source and all this other stuff. But now, I mean, we kind of got to a point where Wikipedia was the go. It wasn't the gospel. You had to double check some stuff because you could just edit anything on there. So you had to double check, but that became kind of the new encyclopedia.
That was the funniest thing too, because people said that Wikipedia was wrong, but whenever I searched like a big topic, I never saw anything that was wrong in Wikipedia.
Yeah,
because those people who edit it are like Nazis. They're so strict. You can't even make a change without it being approved, and then you got to go through this whole process and shit. So nah, I never understood that. Y'all never use Wikipedia if you think it's just people just putting bullshit on every article, because it's not.
Yeah, like I said, like I wouldn't look at this if I seen something and say, hey, my source is Wikipedia. Like I understand that part. But if you just want to look for some basic information, if you just trying to see, hey, when did Frank Lucas pass away, or where is he from? Like pull up his Wikipedia page. You can find a lot of accurate information on there. And I think right now people using that. I think people using Chat GPT over that now at this point, man. It's not just going to Wikipedia and look. I think a lot of people just go to Chat GPT and say, hey, when did Frank Lucas pass away? Or when did the Cavs win the championship? And they just, like, in 2 seconds, they give you all the information. And I'm not sitting there saying, hey, just copy and paste that, and that's your book report right there. To me, that's just a source of information you can look at, and then you kind of do the work on your own. So, like, I don't think that's a bad thing, man. I think eventually, like, you look at Google have AI. It's just so many different programs. Twitter, all these places have some type of AI going on, where all you gotta do is just speak into it, and they give you the information almost instantly. So I think it's here. It's gonna be everywhere, man.
Yeah, it's already here, man. I'll admit I use ChatGPT for my job. I think it's all on how you use it. But I have people asking like, what's the best SUV around 35K? Now I could painstakingly research every SUV, or I could just write the same question in ChatGPT and it'll give me a list of things. And I just give that to the customer.
Yeah,
It's like, yes, you can use it. It's not, look, I understand people fighting it, especially Reggie, because people who went to school for shit, like doing research papers and actually contributing to journalism and checking the sources, I get how you fucking don't want to feel like your skills have been wasted because people just have instant access to all this stuff.
yeah,
But the fact is, it's already here
yeah,
and people are already using it. And at some point, you're going to be behind the curve if you're just anti everything AI, unfortunately.
yeah,
Like I don't want to live in a 100% fake world, but at the fact is, man, AI is already here. It's already taken over. It's already, a lot of jobs are going to be compromised, and it's going to be a scary, scary world, but also more convenient in some ways for a lot of people.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't know,
No,
man.
yeah, no, for real. Like, even as far as like resume, one day I was updating my resume and I'm like, let me see. This was early on where I wasn't using as much AI at the time, but I was like, let me put my resume in here. Can you read? And I asked, can you redo my resume? It spit it out in like 1 second. And it was so organized and everything to the point I'm like, damn, all I gotta do is move this part around and you have a resume, like a professional resume. I'm like, damn. That like shit like that is to me, I'm just like, man, like why would I sit there with a blank sheet of paper trying to do a resume, man-made resume at this point just because I ain't feeding into that AI type stuff. And Joe Blow is over here just be like, bloop, I'm finished. Like, and it looked good. And it ain't gonna come across somebody's desk and be like, oh yeah, nah, he didn't handwrite this. So nah, he's disqualified. Like that, I feel like that stuff is helping a lot of people jobs too, man.
Yeah, I do feel for teachers. I know teachers are having a crisis over it as well. I know your wife's a teacher, so she probably can speak to it, but a lot of these kids are just not learning anything. And if they have to read something, they're just going to ask ChatGPT. If they're going to have, like, it comes a point, okay, you can't just use it for everything. You have to have some kind of knowledge before. But I think in these future generations, they're going to grow up having this stuff at their fingertips already.
Yeah.
So what incentive is there for them to read a book or do any kind of work for themselves if they don't have to?
Yeah.
And that's the scary part, because we're going to become even dumber than we are now. We're already pretty dumb as a society. We're
Yeah.
going to get even more dumbed down.
Yeah, because I think about stuff like, damn, let's say I'm in middle school or something, and I got to do a book report on some book. I could just type in, hey, can you make a book report for me?
Summarize this and tell me your opinion at the end.
Yeah. I'm just like, how do you get around that? Unless a teacher do something like, hey, you got to sit in front of this class and explain the book to me or something like that. And that's probably some unnecessary work a teacher want to do at that point. So I don't know if I don't even know if they would try to change up the school curriculum and maybe try to get people or kids more trained on this type of stuff, since it is the future. I don't know a way around it, but I don't know. I'm glad I ain't a teacher. My wife not even a teacher no more. She dip out of that. But
a word?
Yeah, nah, she worked for a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
So she still kind of deal with kids, but she just she go to different daycares and help create lesson plans for them and stuff like that.
No, okay.
So but yeah, I don't know. I just think it's here, man. I kind of laugh at people when they say, "Oh, hey, I'm not using that." I'm like, at some point, you're gonna have to do something. Some point, Google is going to be AI.
It already is.
It's not going to just be Google this and then look through these articles. it's gonna be a search screen that's pretty much AI, and you're gonna type something in, and everything gonna pop up whatever you looking for. So like that's AI right there.
Yeah, it's already. I mean, if you use a computer, you're already using AI. Because if you have Windows 11, they got AI baked into this shit. So there's no escaping it, man. I understand people being hesitant and pushing back, but they just have to realize they're going to be the dinosaurs. Like they're going to be the old heads. They're going to look like the people holding on to 8 tracks. And when the CD came out, you
Yeah.
know, like at some point it's going to be like people going they're gonna fall behind, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
and I think we in the business where we want to get shit ASAP. We ain't got time to be trying to Google sources and let me try to find this, or you trying to find something immediately. So if it's a little program, you could just type in all the best NBA players in the last 70 years or whatever that is. If that could just pop up instantly, you want that. You ain't trying to dig and do a whole bunch of research, man. Ain't nobody got that much time anymore to do stuff like that. But like I said, like I use it just as a source. I mean, not like a source, but kind of a little, I don't want to say a layout, but just kind of research type thing.
mm-hmm.
Where sometimes I'll be like, let me see if I could come up with a meal plan. You do a meal plan, I just kind of see what pop up, and that kind of give me some ideas. Like, oh, I could do this, or I could do that. It kind of spark a couple ideas. I don't just copy and paste, but I just kind of use it as a kind of like a spark.
Yeah. The thing I will never accept is when people try to make money off it. Like when you have people making AI articles and posting them and then getting money for clicks.
Oh,
I hate
didn't think about
that's been widespread lately, especially with sports and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's shitty. I think people trying to pass off AI art as their own art is shitty. And people who use AI and try to just basically take the AI shit and say it's theirs and make money off it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty shitty, and that's got to stop. I think at some point it's going to get regulated. This AI stuff is going to get out of control. It's going to get to a point where you see a video and you don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah.
Luckily we have people saying, oh, this is an AI video. But it's 5-10 years from now, people just post videos of crazy shit happening and you won't be able to tell if it's AI or not.
Yeah. Yeah. You actually have Instagram accounts of like women where it's just like, oh, who is this woman with big breasts and all that stuff? And it's like, it's the AI. I seen a couple, I think I forgot who talked about it, but a couple people got caught up in it a little bit. Like, oh, you following this AI account?
Mm-hmm.
This girl got some big ass breasts, and this not even a real chick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, damn, man.
Talking to a motherfucking Indian. Somebody trying to get your account information. Yeah, I'm sure they got AI Tinder accounts too. Women on Tinder as AI.
Yeah.
You bitch a little too bad that suddenly swipes right on you.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Better watch out.
Yeah.
know your playing field. If you get somebody a little too much above it, it might be fake.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, it's crazy though. We here though, man.
Yeah, it's not going to stop, man. Like I said, I feel bad for the people who are pushing back against it so hard because they're going to lose. I hate to say it, but they're going to lose, man. It sucks, but this is coming and it's not going to stop.
Yeah. So. Yeah, nah, it's funny. It was even a couple years ago at the station. We had like a meeting, like a all staff meeting. And they brought somebody in that was doing some AI stuff. And this is when people were just like, hell no, I ain't doing no AI. Like, what type of stuff, especially at a radio station? Because at a radio station, you think like, man, this shit about to take my job. So I ain't supporting this. And it was a dude that actually had, it was Sean Pendergast who do the morning show. He, they found some clips of him. And they put it in some AI system, and they had Sean talking some all type of random stuff, and Sean didn't voice it. They just took some clips from him, and they had Sean talking about a sports topic that he didn't even talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, damn, that's wild. But I will say this about sports. I feel like I don't know how well AI could do with sports, because sports takes, that's probably the most genuine thing you could do on the radio, man. You giving your own personal opinion. And I don't know if AI can do that right now. But as far as like the music stations, you could just do a basic little liner and then just have AI do it. But it's going, I feel like it might be a little difficult right now. I'm not saying never, but it might be a little difficult right at this moment to kind of put it into like sports talk radio, because I know right now you got a lot of AI disc jockey DJs around, and you know it's real basic. You can't even tell, but it might be a little tough for sport in the sports world like that.
Yeah, AI doesn't really understand a personality. It doesn't have any personality. It doesn't understand humor and what we find funny, because there's really nothing rational about what we find funny.
Yeah.
So there's no way a computer can intentionally make something that's funny to us.
Yeah.
So you always need some kind of human pilot behind this type of things. That's why I say when they make the AI artists, there's going to have to be humans behind it who are providing the personality and providing the stuff to say and write in the songs, because a computer can't do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of everything else, like it's already here, man. So
yeah, the crazy thing, the other thing, and kind of going back to the whole artist thing or rap music thing, you could actually put in Chat GPT to write a verse. You could say, hey, write me, because I actually tried it. And I was just like, what? Like, this shit is crazy. You could tell Chat GPT, hey, write a verse about Ryan Rocket, but make it in the Pusha T type of style. And it will spit everything out like it's I'm just like, man, that is crazy. It kind of make you not even trust anything now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what's real, what's fake. That it's kind of how it was during the Kendrick and Drake beef.
Yeah,
where all that shit was coming out. You be like, man, I don't know if this is real. I feel like we will be like that for a long time.
Yeah, I think that pretty soon there's going to be some kind of bill or regulation for AI, because we already are in a crazy time misinformation without fake ass shit. But now, since it's gotten so realistic looking and anybody can use it and anybody can do it, it's going to be insane in the future, man. So I think there's going to be some kind of attempt to regulate it, but even then you can't trust it, because that just means the government has the ability to make all this shit, not you. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a crazy time. And part of it scares me, but also I'm intrigued to see where this all goes, man. I just want to see the world end. Like I've said before on this podcast, I want to be there at the end. I don't want to die and just have that be the end and the world just goes on. I want to see things end when I end. So yeah. We'll see. And last but not least, have you been keeping up with the DDG versus Halle Bailey saga going on?
Not a little bit, not really. First of all, I ain't know who the hell DDG was, man. Like, I still don't know exactly what he do. He's a rapper, right? Is
he started as a streamer?
Okay.
But he got into rap and he's been more of a rapper now, but he still streams.
Okay, yeah. That's all I pretty much know about him. I kind of been looking from the outside in, just all the drama. I feel like it's a bunch of DDG fans out here. Well, you know what? I'll take that back. I don't know if they fans or is it just the man versus woman thing?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that too.
Yeah, I feel like it's just man versus woman. They just sticking with him because he a man. But yeah, I think recently some text messages were out there, because I guess they part of the court documents, and just what's her name? Haley? Is it Holly?
Halle, I think.
Halle Bailey.
I don't like how similar her name is to Halle Berry.
I keep getting ready to say Holly Berry, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Haley Bailey.
I mean, it's spelled Holly the same
Okay.
way Holly Berry is spelled, so that's why I say Holly. But it might be
Okay.
Haley. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
don't like how similar it is, and they like one letter is different.
Yeah, but yeah, she was kind of wilding in them text messages. She kind of looked like a crazy girlfriend or a crazy baby mama, and I feel like we really never saw anything bad from her side because you know who she's it's the Rock Nation influence and the Beyonce endorsement and all that stuff. But yeah, man. Honestly, I didn't even understand. I was shocked they were even together, man. I was just like, damn. I don't know, man. I don't know. This might be like outside of what I'm used to. Like I really not, I'm only familiar with her because she was with the little group in the Disney. I think she was with Disney Channel at one point, right?
Yeah, I think in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's how they started. And I remember I went to the Beyonce. I think I went to the Beyonce concert at one point. And they opened up for her. So I didn't really know who they were at that time. But yeah, I don't know. I personally not really that invested in it, man. I'm not even familiar with none of their work.
Yeah, me neither. I just saw the hot takes about and of course the gender wars got involved pretty quickly. I think at first she was trying to stop him from seeing her or something. It's an argument over custody, and then he fired back and he filed for full custody and restraining order or something because he released a bunch of text messages of her looking unhinged and threatening to kill herself and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it got really dirty really quick, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. David said dirty diaper guy. People call him doo-doo garbage, which is pretty funny. He actually got into a fight. You know, there was another topic here. Sidebar. There is a convention for Black people that is like anime and video game focused. It's called Dream God. Yeah, it was actually in Houston this year, but it's usually held in Austin, I believe.
Okay.
But this year it was held in Houston. And people thought it was no, I didn't.
You wouldn't go to that?
Not that type, because and this is what I'm getting into. What the controversy about it is because at some point this became like a major influencer event. So you have like a bunch of streamers coming. DDG was there, and his people got into a fight because somebody called him doo-doo garbage to his face or some shit. So, but it got to a point where a lot of people, it became like an event. You know, like you ever have a spot where you like to eat, and then it blows up and becomes like Turkey Leg Hut.
Yeah,
and then the vibe is just different.
Yeah,
and now it's more about. It's not about what it used to be. I would go to a convention now it's just centered around anime and video games, but I'm not going to go to fucking
not this one.
Meet this Kai Cenat and have a bunch of fucking 20-year-old dudes who don't know nothing about that shit, but they just coming to see whatever celebrity is there. Like, I'm not trying to be in that kind of crowd.
Yeah,
and that's what happened this year. Apparently, a lot of people came through. I saw some strippers were there getting freaky. I saw there was some Kappas or some kind of frat that was stomping the yard and doing some shit.
I'm
like,
I didn't know it was like that.
Yeah.
I seen I seen like 3 people I know personally that went, and shout out to our good friend Dende.
Yeah.
He was there, and you know what he dressed as when he went there?
Dende.
Yep.
There you go. Keeping it real.
Yeah. I saw Meg was there.
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion was there, and she's kind of been leading the pack in this whole cool people who like anime type thing. So,
yeah.
But yeah, some people were mad because they feel like it became too main. This convention became way too mainstream. Now it's not about anime or video games and appreciation of that stuff. Now it's more about celebrities and meeting people and doing shit that had nothing to do with the topic at hand. So
Yeah.
I just thought that was pretty interesting. But no, I wouldn't go to DreamCon. I don't look at my type of place to go.
Yeah. I want to say like two or three people asked me, like, you ain't go? I'm like, I never even heard of it until it was happening. Like once it was happening, I'm like, damn, what's this? And so apparently, I think it's going to be in Houston next year too. So I think unless the whole fights and all that stuff make it get chased out of Houston, maybe back to Austin. But I heard it's coming back next year in Houston again. So if it is, I might see, depending on the price.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous, man. Hell no, I'm not going.
You should come and report back, man.
Really?
Wait for the nerds to still be up in there, because I don't know if I'm welcome anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't go to that place. Number one, I don't be any place where it's majority like under 25. That's my issue. I'd rather there be, you know, a good mix of young and old. And that place looked like it was mainly like majority 25 and under.
Yeah.
I don't want to be up in there, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. I wonder how the community, I don't know if you consider yourself part of that community, but I wonder how people that's really deep into that type of stuff feel about people just using this, the anime space as like, oh, cool, I like anime. Just kind of how people was doing with like I always compare it a little bit to tennis. How when Naomi Osaka and I forgot who it was, Serena Williams
and all them Serena.
Yeah, now everybody tennis fans and breaking down tennis, or like how people suddenly is into the WNBA and trying to talk all this shit and doing all this stuff. I wonder if people that are really into it a little irritated by it.
Typically they don't like it. And it's not just the anime thing, it's every culture that starts off as like a subculture. They don't like it when their stuff gets too popular and too trendy and people who don't know about it. I remember it most famously happened with skateboarding. Remember? Skateboarding was like this niche thing that only a few people were into. And then Tony Hawk games came out and everybody, Pharrell was calling himself Skateboard P. Lil Wayne was getting into skateboarding. And then all these people who didn't know shit about skating were trying to get in that community. And the skaters were gatekeeping like crazy, man. They were like, nah, y'all, if y'all don't skate, if y'all didn't come up with us, y'all can't be claiming to skate shit. So they actually fought against it. But it's the same with a lot of things. It's like South by Southwest and how that started and how that became a huge mainstream thing where it's not about indie artists anymore. It's more about, you know, who big is coming this year. Coachella the same way.
Yeah.
It's same with anime, man. I feel like a lot of people who are heavy into it, they don't like the people who just, I saw a couple episodes of Naruto in Dragon Ball. I'm an anime fan. I'm going to the anime con. You know, you just want to see the bad bitches in the cosplay all dressed up and shit. That's really why you're going. You don't care about the culture.
Yeah.
But me personally, man, I like to see the shit I like get bigger, because I remember when I was coming up and really into it as when I was young, and you could barely even see sections where they had like the Japanese comic books, the manga as they call it, or the anime. There was only a little bit to choose from in America. Now you go to Barnes and Noble and they got a whole section of that shit dedicated to it, man.
Yeah.
A lot of kids with now, my niece and nephews are on to that shit. And I actually like seeing the stuff I like get bigger, because it means you get more of it and a higher quality in general.
Yeah.
But I understand how people who are like, you know, some people who see those spaces as people where, you know, a small community gets together over appreciation of something, and then you lose that community when it's just a bunch of influencers and fans of influencers coming in who don't really know shit about what the convention is really about. They come in and they kind of just ruin it. So I get that. But me personally, I like seeing stuff. I like what Megan Thee Stallion did for anime and trying to make it more hip and cool for people. So I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, it seemed like too that it's making it more acceptable too, because I feel like you could probably speak to this, or I could kind of speak to it too. But just when we were younger, if you was into anime, people can call you a cornball, man. They gonna call you a nerd and all this other stuff because like, what the fuck you still watching cartoons and all that type of shit. But now, if somebody said they was into anime, I don't think nobody will be like, really? Or I don't think you'll get laughed at. Maybe some people might be ignorant and laugh at you, but I feel like for the most part, people ain't gonna say nothing. They're like, oh, okay. Like it's not that big of a deal now. It's kind of like that with wrestling too. How like now you notice how so many people is into wrestling, especially grown people.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like if somebody do say, you be sitting here watching wrestling, you'll piss a lot of people off, man. Like a lot of people, if you openly talk about, man, wrestling is fake. If you get out here and say wrestling fake, even though it is, scripted and all that stuff, people will be pissed off. You'll get a lot of angry people at you, man. So I don't think that was the case back in the day. Back in the day, if you was watching wrestling, and this was even as kids, I feel like you'll be outnumbered with people telling you how fake it is.
Actually, nah. I think it was better back then, or more accepted, because wrestling was more popular, I feel. And number one, in the 80s, back when it was really big, people still thought it was real. Number one. So there's people who still thought it was real, and the stars were so big. Sometimes I watch the WWE Vault, and they'll have like interviews before WrestleMania of all the fans. And it's like all types of fans, man. It's people who you see, like, look like they work at a bank, or people who are athletic, people who are just all types of people, kids and adults. They're really into the wrestling. And then you go later on the years when they do the interviews, and it's like, okay, people are getting fatter and nerdier when they interview. You don't see a lot of regular people anymore. But I think when we were growing up, everybody watched wrestling when we were kids. But I think as we grew up now in this era, if you say you watch wrestling, people look at you like you weird. But back in the 90s, everybody loved The Rock. Everybody loved Stone Cold. So I don't think it was as weird as it is, even though it's getting better. But today, I think it's weirder to be a wrestler fan than it was back then, at least by society standards.
Yeah, but see, the reason I stopped watching wrestling, I stopped once I got to high school. But I stopped watching wrestling because people was laughing at me when I said I gotta. They're like, "You watch that shit?" So
I gotta go home and watch SmackDown. What the fuck?
At that point, I'm like, man, I ain't about to watch this. I ain't about to watch this shit now. I was got into some little peer pressure, man. So I'm like, man, I ain't about to watch this. And it was only a few people that were still into it, and they always kind of got laughed at a little bit, man. So that's what made me. They kind of shamed me into not watching it. Not really getting into it anymore. But I feel like now I think our show on In the Loop is cool now because we don't really get into wrestling, but we don't shit on wrestling. Mm-hmm. We don't sit here and say, oh, it's fake or anything like that. Because at one point, I think it might have been Landry. He was just kind of like, I think he said something in passing, and he kind of ticked off a lot of people. And it's just like, man, like at that point, like usually you would tick a lot of people off, or you'll get a lot of people pretty much shitting on wrestling. Like, you still watch wrestling? Now it's kind of the opposite, where you just like people, they go out and defend wrestling like, hey, these are real athletes. And, it's just the only thing that's fake or whatever is the scripts, but these are real athletes. It seems like you got more of that now, because I don't remember that when I was in high school, man.
That's too funny. It reminds me of that Migos song where, like, I growed up looking up to wrestling, found out it was fake and started hustling. I think a lot of people feel like that. I think what stopped me from watching wrestling for a long time was it just got too stupid to watch. The storylines got way too dumb. And after The Rock left, and really that's what did it for me. After The Rock and Stone Cold stopped wrestling, I'm like, all right, I really ain't got no reason. Who the fuck? I'm gonna watch Brock Lesnar. You know, so that kind of did it for me. All the stars that left are gone on, but I don't know. I think people want to like wrestling, but the way people talk about it, and whenever you get somebody too nerdy into something, it's a turn off. I hate when people are too nerdy about sports and talk about these analytics that nobody gives a fuck about. Every year there's a new analytic, TPA, GP. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But in the same way about wrestling, when there's somebody who's too into it and talks about like, oh, I know backstage she said this and this. Come on, man.
I
Just
don't really
enjoy
like the
story.
storyline of him being the heel.
Just appreciate what they're doing on screen, but some people get way too deep and lost in the sauce, and that's when it becomes like, okay, man, you know, this is just fucking entertainment, right? But yeah, I think that's really it. But I think the fans is what I think people like the concept of wrestling. They just don't like the image of a wrestling fan, which is like a 40-year-old bald guy with no kids or that image of the wrestling fan is what they make fun of. But I don't think they hate wrestling itself, because really it's some cool shit to watch.
Yeah, I think now, honestly, I think I ain't gonna sit here and say wrestling is in a better spot now, because I don't know, but I think it's cool where you got even people like Travis Scott, man. As cool as Travis Scott is and how many fans he got, you see how serious he take wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Wale. Wale is cool too, but you see he's heavy into wrestling. You got
West Side Gun, yeah,
West Side Gun. You got different people like that. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but the only people I used to see that was really into wrestling back then were, I mean, I don't even want to say into wrestling, but you had some of the rappers that did some of the theme songs and stuff like that. But I felt like we didn't have that cool ass rap. We ain't have fucking Jay-Z talking about how much he like WWF or shit like that. It just seemed like it was a little, like, as far as the big celebrities like that, it was a little bit frowned upon. But now it seems like everybody is open up to it. Maybe they kind of doing it just like the anime space, where maybe, well, I don't know if somebody gonna fake the funk and just act like they like wrestling, but at least all of these stars gonna be at WrestleMania or some shit, and make it look cool.
Travis Scott got way too deep into wrestling. Like, he's in the storylines now, and people hate him. The wrestling fans don't like him now because he's getting all into the storyline now is John Cena became a bad guy, and they used Travis Scott to tell that story. And so now Travis Scott showed up at WrestleMania, and they're like, what the fuck is Travis Scott doing here in the main event of WrestleMania? He ain't even wrestle. He was there and showed up. So he got a little too deep. But
I ain't gonna like, I didn't watch, I seen some of the clips, but I thought that was I'm like, man, all right, man, what is WWE doing? Because this is a little like, I had to ask the question to people. I'm like, is everybody in on this whole Travis Scott thing, or is this a little bit irritating? Because maybe it could be the storyline where it makes sense. But I'm like, are these true wrestling fans are sitting here like, ooh, yeah, this is part, or is this stupid? Because it kind of looked stupid on the outside. And a bunch of people like, yeah, this is kind of whack a little bit.
Nah, they don't like it at all. I don't understand it, because number one, I don't think Travis Scott fans care about wrestling like that, even though he does. I just don't think his fans are all that into it. And I know wrestling fans don't really like Travis Scott. They might like a few of his songs, but they're not, the fan base for Travis Scott is a lot younger than probably the average wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And so when you bring it, it's just weird, man. It's a weird mix. Number one, he's skinny as fuck. It would be different if he was jacked and looked like a wrestler.
Yeah.
But he's skinny as hell. You're like, okay, in real life, they beat his ass. Why is he out here punching Cody Rhodes in the mouth and shit?
Yeah.
So it looks kind of silly on his face. And it just seems like it's a vanity thing where he loves wrestling so much, he just wants to be in it, but he don't want to do the work of actually being a wrestler. He just wants to show up and vibe. in the
Yeah.
ring.
I do think that was everybody's dream at one point if he was a wrestling fan. Just kind of coming out down that ramp and just
Yep.
doing your whole walk.
Yeah,
doing
he's
your-
doing what all of us would do if we had money.
dog,
Okay.
we was doing this shit in the backyard, man. Fake playing wrestling, man.
Yep.
Like we would come out with the music and we kind of go around just like that was our fantasy, or in the bedroom just kind of
Rest on the pillow. Yep. Doing a rock bottom on the pillow. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like we do all that shit, but that's why I always crack up. I know you seen that viral video. These dudes that be wrestling in Walmart.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
be doing their little hurricane. I forgot that move, the little hurricane where you just beating each other up. I'm like, that was everybody. That was every kid's fantasy, man. Especially if they was into wrestling.
Yeah, nah, he's just doing what we all would do if he had money. He walks out with like a fake wrestling belt that he made himself or some shit, and he just goes out there and he gets to be in WrestleMania in the main event in the fucking ring. So I can't be mad. It just sucks that they let him do it. But David says The Rock fakes the bunk and pretends he still likes wrestling. Yeah, he came back for a while and acted like he was gonna be a part of the
He
future.
ain't going nowhere.
He immediately dipped as soon as he got movie roles again, man. He came back after Black Adam flopped, and he did a main event. He did all this stuff. Then he got put in a Martin Scorsese movie, and we ain't seen him since.
Yeah. I think too, man. But I think you talked about this. I feel like he didn't get the reception he thought he was gonna get.
Oh nah.
Yeah.
He thought everybody was just gonna love him, and a lot of people do love him. You know,
Yeah.
I admit I get hyped when I hear his music, because that music is just iconic, man. He
Yeah.
comes out, you see the big ass Brahma bull on the thing. It's like, okay, but then he comes out and says some corny shit about sticking something up somebody's ass. Okay, maybe that was funny when I was 12. It ain't funny when I'm 38 and you still doing the same shit. So it's kind of like how Hulk Hogan came out there and he got booed.
Yeah.
He had no reason why. Why do you think? Like, you think people in 2025 gonna be down with Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Who ain't been popping since the mid 90s?
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man. But yeah, I still fuck with wrestling. I don't watch a whole lot of it, at least not the WWE type shit. But I still fuck with it, man. And I had nothing against people who are into it. But the community is crazy in general. I would, if you watch it, don't ever fucking tweet about it.
Yeah.
Because the people online are just insane, man. There's a war. I don't know if you know about this. There's a civil war between wrestling fans in AEW and WWE.
Oh,
And
really?
it's,
Okay.
yeah, and it's
I
like
didn't know that.
East Coast versus West Coast type shit, man.
Damn, I didn't know that.
They are deep in this rivalry because AEW is the up and coming company, and WWE, of course, is WWE.
Yeah.
And their fans go back and forth like they be trying to kill each other. It's insane. So don't be in the community, but it's still fun to watch, man. I can't shit on it.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, we're almost exactly at 3 hours, so a very long podcast tonight, but fun time as always, man. We appreciate everybody who came through. Everybody who listened to the podcast, we do appreciate y'all. And of course, make sure y'all listen to Figgy Fig 10 to 2, Sports Radio 610 in the Loop, Figgy's mixtape 1:20 p.m. Make sure y'all check it every single day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to promote, man?
Nah, I think that's it, man. Yeah. Check out the mixtape at 1:20 every day. Today I was actually talking about if Babe Ruth was black. Because that topic always pop up on the timeline, man. And recently people were just posting more pictures. Like, look at Babe Ruth with the waves. He got them Dominican waves in his hair. So
that's too funny. I did see that color video that came out, and it did look like a black guy. So I'm like, okay, maybe he was.
That's one of my favorite theories outside of Stevie Wonder can see.
And Wilt Chamberlain 100-point game not happening.
Yeah,
that's a funny one too.
Yeah, I love shit like that that you can't really you can't
prove
really
or disprove.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too funny, man. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all check that out. And yeah, we will be with y'all next week, same time, around the same time, probably.
Yeah.
So until next week, y'all.